Hey, there you go.
Yourself.
Yeah, good. You are very quiet. Are you near your... Are you further away from your microphone than normal?
I don't know. It's close now.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Hello.
Yo!
Has arrived.
Yeah, it's just finishing eating.
Yeah, nice. What were you playing?
I'm not playing anything at the moment. Eating.
Oh, you're finished eating. Okay.
Eating the food.
I've been trying to finish Black Mesa, and I think I've almost done it. I'm like at the final boss part.
So, you on the alien planet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And have you fought the mother head crab?
No, maybe that's what I gotta do then. I'm just judging I'm up for a boss fight because they've put both an energizing crystal and a restoration pool next to each other.
Black Mesa is the remake of Half-Life,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so you'll have the mother head crab to do, and then there's a few more segments, and then you'll have the final fight.
Yeah.
So you're pretty close. So I bought a few more things today because I have no self-control.
What'd you buy?
So I got this. That's the
Oh,
the
yes.
World Amount. That's the roll 20. Sorry, not the roll 20. The Critical Role.
Yep.
Campaign. Like parts of it, parts of Matt's world, which I thought was pretty awesome. And
shiny.
I've been intending to get that.
and I got another adventure, which is this one.
Ooh.
Tyranny of Dragons. And because I was reading it, so this is actually two adventures put together.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah. So that's the Queen of the Dragon Horde and the Rise of Tiamat.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I put them together. So you do the Horde of the Dragon Queen first, and then Rise of Tiamat, and it'll take you all the way through to level 15.
So I have sorry, it's Queen of the Dragon Horde. Is that what it was? I always get it back and front.
Horde of the Dragon.
Horde, yes, Horde of the Dragon Queen. I don't know, it's stuck in my head, and I always gotta say Queen first. Horde of the Dragon Queens. I have that on D&D and Beyond, and Apples was running that for his old D&D group at his old workplace. But since he no longer works there, I imagine that's all fallen through. So he knows a bit about that particular campaign. But I don't think they got very far. Maybe half a dozen sessions or so in.
Okay. Yeah, I was just went for a walk at lunch, and there's still game stores are open in Civic here. I was just flicking through the books, and I'm like, I was flicking through Matt Mercer's one, and I'm like, yeah, it's got some cool stuff in it about the world.
Yep.
So I figured I'll get it, even if it's just a read. And then I saw that one, and because it's the alternate cover, which is like the alternate cover for Descent that I've got, I'm like,
yes.
I'll get it for collection's sake, and plus it's a cool looking story.
Yeah, cool.
Discord has changed its layout thing again.
Yeah.
I've got rounded windows now. Yeah.
Oh, rounded edges?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was rounded last time.
No. And it's put apples in line, whereas before it was a grid. It was 2x2. So I wonder what's going to happen when Bondi joins.
Alphabetizing us?
Very likely.
Oh, good. So at least we're in the same position every week, and I don't have to constantly shuffle it around on OBS.
What's going on?
Not much. Just saying before, been playing through Black Mesa, almost at the end. Makes me want to play Half-Life 2, actually.
What's that?
It's the fan remake of Half-Life 1. It's made in the Source engine, I believe.
The Source 2. Because it was
Source
the
2 engine.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And it's just come out of... Yeah, it's just come out of early access, which means the game is actually complete. So I thought I'd give it a go, because I'm adding sections in slowly. And I've gone through it. At least I'm almost at the end. And I didn't realize how long Half-Life 1 was. I know a few parts have been reimagined, but a lot of the world is very much exactly as it was. And yeah, it's been great. It's been really, really good to get into like an old school style shooter. And the guns are just fun.
I tried playing Half-Life 2 mod a while ago, and it pretty much added a shit ton of detail to everything, but also upbuild the encounters. So instead of just one enemy, they'd have them kind of like modern stuff, so people come streaming out of doors.
Yeah.
And it just upped all of that, and it took away, you know how in Half-Life 2 you kind of just plod in between areas, you know, occasionally shooting something. It made it more like a current game where you just mow down a shit ton of cunts. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, but it's very short-lived, those style games. Like you play it once, go, yeah, that was cool, and then you never want to pick it back up again.
Oh, not when you got a kitchen sink and you're just shooting it through scores of people. Fucking A.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, the grav gun is the best thing.
The grave gun in Ravenholm.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna die.
Yeah, so it has it's normalized all the webcams, so we're all the same size now on Discord, but it has changed the layout slightly. But it does put the Bondi in the middle.
Oh, when you maximize it now, because I've got it split to half my screen. It's just we're all in a line instead of weird grids of some people huge.
Yeah, they've probably taken a lot of feedback with everyone doing things from home now and just fix shit up.
Oh, that's so good. There's a pop-out button down the bottom, and you can pop it, and you can pin it. Oh, this is what I...
I'll play around with that later. I gotta shuffle everyone's names around.
Oh, that's amazing. Now I can actually have like two tabs open next to each other.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
agree.
much room.
That is really good.
Focus on is better too.
Yes, I can actually have... Yes, this is much better. All right, I got you up permanently. I don't need to keep alt-tabbing.
So how does that work? What have you done?
You just pop it out, and so I've made my Discord pop out take up half of one monitor, and I've now got D&D Beyond taking up the other half of that monitor, and then on my second monitor I now have Roll20 just taking up the... So I have full control of Roll20. I can quickly flick between each of your stuff, each of your characters' stuff on D&D Beyond, and I can see you all. The only thing I can't see with this pop out is chat. So if you guys want to talk dirty about me, you can do it. One thing I want to ask you guys before we get stuck into this is last session, Apples did a insight check to see if someone was telling the truth. Now, I'm okay with him saying what his role value is, but what do you think of me just telling you the result of what that role did in private, and then it's up to you to convey it back to the team?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Bondi,
Yeah.
can you just point your mic just down a little bit so your head's towards the top of the screen?
You mean his camera?
His camera, sorry. Yeah, my bad. I do this
Say
all the
that
time.
again.
Just
He wants to look at your nuts.
Can you just point your webcam down a little bit? Yeah, that's better.
And make sure you're wearing pants.
Pants check.
With that role thing, I think it's got to be 100%. You commit to it. Like if you roll shit, you've got to commit to the fact that that's 100% what your character is just unearthed and believed. Like everyone knows it's bullshit, but you have to full commit that your character's looked at or talked to this person and gone, fuck it, they're lying, you know, kind of thing. That's how I view it. You've got to. That's the bit that has to be role played.
Yeah.
Even if you're 100% going into it knowing that, you know, there's obviously more to it. But yeah.
Well, yeah, the other thing we could try is I ask you to do an insight check. And rather than you telling what the value is publicly, you tell me what the value is. But then I don't know, that feels a bit odd, because what you're not going to understand is what I've said as the DC. You could roll an 18, but maybe the DC just makes it impossible for you to find out if the person is telling the truth or not.
True. I guess, yeah. I guess that's half the fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, it might be like we're playing against someone stupider than Rock, in which case, you roll a 3 and you still beat him. And you don't realise it.
Okay. All right. You guys good? You ready? Need more time?
I think I'm okay.
I just had to get some dice out and get a beer, so that's me.
I'm good.
Got your beer? Ooh, that's a big Guinness.
They're all big, man.
Tabundi looks like he's ready.
I'm ready.
Deep in thought. Okay, all right. So last time on our mega session that we did, you started the session off after a long rest, which also you guys leveled up to level 3. You're resting in one of the areas in the dungeon that you felt relatively safe. You boarded up the room. You heard a few scratching around in the night that come from some small animals. But nothing disturbed you during your rest. As you set out to explore, you found that the bodies were untouched, that no one had moved anything around from the areas that you've been, and continued your exploration on. You came down to a little hallway that had a very hungry rat scavenging around, which was promptly put out of its misery by Rock with a swift smash. As you explored on, you come into another submerged hallway, which you waded through, and came across a tomb that had an engraving of a axe-wielding barbarian in the roof that was next to it in the wall. But try as you might, you searched around and found nothing of interest within that tomb. You backed out and came across an altar that had some unlit candles on it. And following some quick thinking from the cleric, Hevel decided to light the candles, and found 4 words written on the wall: "Rise and be counted." As he said the words out loud closely to the altar, 3 skeletons emerged from the rubble behind you, and immediately began to kneel at the cleric, offering their full support, and will understand all the orders that he gives. With that, you trudged on through and found a room that was filled with smell-felling explosive, which you avoided and moved through to no danger to the party, and came across 3 tombs further on. You searched through and managed to find some glorious loot in one of the tombs and some glorious combat in the other, where you quickly dispatched the 6 zombies that rose to attack you. With some quick thinking and using the environment, you dispatched them with no harm to the party. Came across 2 bodies that were chained up against...
Didn't Fuzzy take a hit?
It was 1 hit. All things considered, you didn't take anything from that. As you moved on, you found 2 bodies who were shackled up in another room. Much to your surprise, one of them was unconscious but stable, the other one dead. As you revived the lady who introduced herself as... one sec, I've lost the name. As Vendetta. She told you that she's been taken captive and she was working for some of the nobles in town. She was questioned at depth about the nobles, and she even witnessed the man who was here succumb to his torture and pass away. She mentioned of rock scraping against the floor, followed by the sounds of splashing as people walked through water. You moved on and came across a watcher who was standing guard of a stairwell as you entered, and he immediately yelled "intruders" and started running towards a room, banging on the door, waking his kin. You dispatched of him, only to meet 4 more of the cultists. And after some very intense combat, again using the environment to your advantage, you dispatched of them. Moving on, you search the rooms and you found one of them to contain a sarcophagus that was filled to the brim with human blood, filled so much that a lot of it has spilled over on the sides. And behind it, there was an old woman named Nebra, who was quite shaken and surprised to see you. But after some communication, she managed to tell you that she's aware of, through the torture, some hidden passages around, and she leads you through one of the hidden passages. As you enter, you come across the sounds of battle, and as Thanesh scouted ahead with his familiar, found two men, one gigantic, bald, scarred-faced man carrying a mighty great club, going up to combat with another, what seems to be cultist, with no flesh on his skull, fighting back. Before you decided to move down that area, you wanted to explore one last room where Rock managed to trip a trap and raise 4 skeletons armed and ready to fight you. And that's where we left last session. Right now, I need each of you to roll initiative for me, please.
Didn't we already roll initiative?
No.
No, we saved it for today.
Ah, shit. I'm gonna die.
Yep. 19.
9.
I feel this is symbolic for tonight. I have a 0.
Do you actually go to 0?
Because
Yeah,
I got rolled
negative
a 1, and then I'm -1 for initiative.
Beautiful.
I'm 4.
Whoops, hang on, I wrote them wrong. Okay.
Just based on that, Tabandi, I never want to go a character this low on deck.
Yeah, but everything that hits him doesn't hurt him anyway, so...
That's right. It's fine.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about going first. Come on. Not that I am, but
What do you have a bonus to your initiative, Darty?
Yeah, 3.
Finish? Okay. Okay. So with those rolls, Thanesh, you will be first.
Alright, so I will immediately use my breath weapon, and I'm going to angle it so I can hit both of these two. I get to spray a 15-foot cone of fire.
Yep. And what's the DC on that?
The DC is Dex 12.
Would Darty be able to take a step back, so not quite 5 foot away from those skeletons, so this cone would be more effective?
So I'm going to say that both will be able to get hit by that from where he's standing. If he was to take a step back, he'd provoke 2 attacks of opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
if you disengage, do you disengage from everything or just one?
Everything.
For everything, but that takes your action. They both fail.
Oh, 6 fire damage.
Yep. Okay. So you shoot out your breath with a mighty roar as you see these 2 skeletons just start raising in front of you and crisp them up quite nicely.
Nice.
Anything else for your turn?
No, I will just stand and watch.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Someone's raging.
misbehaving puppy.
She needs my help. I'll be 1 moment. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I just realised, Darty, I didn't realise you'd come into the room as well.
Yeah, I followed in.
Yeah. I might survive this first round. If I was going to cop 4 hits, I don't think I would have survived. Actually, no, based on the other skeletons we faced, I should.
I'm just reading up on my arcane deflection, which is what I get from picking war magic with my wizard. And I was trying to figure out if I get the armor bonus until my next turn, or how, is it 1 attack? Because I can spend my reaction to beef up my armor class against a single attack. But it does specify only one attack and not until the end of next turn. So I was thinking maybe I get a free shield spell almost. But no.
Damn.
Isn't it just while working the exact same way shield does?
It does work the same way that shield does, but shield raises my armor class until my next turn. So if I get hit by 3 things, it protects me against all 3. This will only protect me against the first attack. And then I'm vulnerable. Which is still pretty cool.
Have him. Evel, get him while he's vulnerable.
Who am I getting?
The Nesh. Just because he's vulnerable.
But he's my friend.
Yeah, I'm his friend.
Well, at the moment, he's now our meat shield.
How come everyone seems so quiet tonight? Like,
Maybe you got to put up your
Maybe
Discord
it's
sound
you.
because everyone sounds the same to me.
yeah, maybe it is
everyone's
me.
silent for
But why?
Could be the new noise suppression thing Discord have implemented.
Is that in the
Uh,
actual Discord like main build? I thought it was only in beta.
It is. Looks like you apparently have to enable it. But it's right next to the disconnect button.
Like
Oh.
in the chat thing, right next
Uh,
to disconnect.
Yeah, just sort of near how you've got all your people down the side and down the bottom where it says video connect. I noticed it says noise suppression.
Oh yeah,
powered
I
by
might try
Chris.
that.
Yeah, there's been this setting in the settings for a while that does it. I'm tempted to lose the headphones and try it so you guys bitch again.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. So I won't mute myself. I'll keep myself on and see if you guys can hear.
Okay. Can you hear us? You should. No, turn your mic on and I'll start talking like crazy and we'll see if we can hear me. That should tell us, right?
That should.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, keep it.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
blah, blah, blah. I can't
Blah
hear
blah
me.
blah. I
This
really
is good.
like
Oh,
what?
fuck this. Buy my headphones. Where's the setting?
Next to your user options and things at the bottom of Discord.
Yeah, the noise suppression, if that works, that'd be really good because I've been sort of rerunning my family game again, and we've been getting Devay's friend in via Discord, but she gets a bit of feedback from us. So if that noise suppression works,
Oh, it's so much nicer. My ears aren't stupid fucking headphones. Yeah, because I've been doing, I don't know, lots of meetings on my fucking laptop over the last, and that's got Teams and the noise suppression. That's insane. I never get feedback,
that's cool.
and I get cool backgrounds. Why don't I get cool backgrounds in this?
Because we're
Sorry
not
about
using,
that.
You're
We're
right.
not using the vulnerable Zoom that can get hacked.
No, I was using Teams, not Zoom. I had to use Zoom for an interview the other week. And I'm like, just as all these things are coming up, like, it's corrupt, it'll give you AIDS. Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, my bad. The dog had an accident on Anita. So.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, it's rare. That's like the first time he's ever done that. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, so it is now the skeleton's turn. And immediately after being caught by the breath, these two skeletons going to finish their animation and raise their short swords to finish. That is. As one of them knocked back by your fire wasn't quite ready and slashes thin air, but the second one contacts your putting a slight cut.
Can I use my reaction to increase my armor class?
Of course. What's your new armor class?
Actually, it goes up to a measly 13.
Yep. Still hits you. Still makes slash onto your arm. sort of bounces off you, but you take 5 piercing damage
Ooh, okay.
as it makes contact with you. Meanwhile, the other 2, the one directly next to you, Rock, is going to see you as his first target and raise his sword to attack you with a 16.
Damn it.
And slashes at you, catching you very much off guard across the face, and hits you for 8 piercing damage.
Oh, I just got tickled compared to that.
And the and the one at the back is going to draw his short bow, and looses
shoot
an
him a
arrow.
short bow.
It looses an arrow at you, Thanesh, which hits you for.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, manages to make a clean contact into your abdomen. It doesn't quite stick in, but hits you for 4 piercing damage.
I'm happy it was you, not me.
And it is now. Rock, what's your bonus to initiative?
2.
It is your turn.
Okay. How long did that last? That's it. These guys don't seem strong, so. Yeah. Yes, it was Darty. I cast Barkskin on myself. I touch myself in an obvious way, just under the water where no one can see, because that's where everything Rock does. Which I now have to concentrate, but that lasts up to an hour. I now have 16 AC.
Yep.
And 6 spell slot. And I wild shape into a direwolf.
Okay. Now just checking. So Barkskin.
Barkskin sticks.
Yes.
But I have to maintain concentration. So
Yep. That's your action, and you've used your bonus action to wild shape.
correct.
Yeah, so you can use wild shape as a bonus action. Yep, got it. Okay. Yes, link me, please.
So I am now bear.
You mean wolf?
Yes, wolf. I'm used to saying bear. Can I, Juna, move to here? It's a big click. To there without incurring a attacky thing.
Yes, I'll say you can.
Yeah, I want to kind of try and force these 2 onto me.
Yep.
And that's your chance. Yeah, so I do that. Get right up in his face.
All right. Cool. So you're just big roaring direwolf. Actually, have you linked? One sec.
I just linked it to you.
Thank you. I'll just get that open. What is your size? Large. Okay, so you are above the waterline, which is. With that, it is now Nebra's turn. She is just going to walk up a little and sort of peer around into the doorway, just seeing a bit of the skeletons going on, and she's just going to cower back to the safety of the friendly skeletons, but going to keep an eye on them. She's worried that they're going to turn. And it is now Izzy's turn.
I will frostbite the skeleton I can see straight in front of me.
Okay. Yep. Roll to hit.
It does a constitutional saving throw.
Oh, yep. Apologies.
You have to get under 13. It's on a saving throw. Is it? What happens in a tie?
The aggressor still wins.
Okay.
So in that case, he failed.
Sweet. What do I do? 1d6 damage. 4 cold damage, and he has disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay. What's the spell? Frostbite.
Yep.
Yep. So your frostbite launches out, manages to take a hold, and you see quite a lot of his both arms and upper torso start freezing and crusting over with ice. Still standing, but quite battered by that attack. Anything else for your turn?
No, that's it.
Okay, so it's Vendetta's turn. She's gonna turn to Nebra and say, "What did you see? What are they doing? Should we help? Should we do anything?" And Nebra just sort of gives her a quick nudge, saying, "No, I think they've got it. Let's just watch these ones in case." And with that is now Hevel's turn.
I'm going to tell the skeletons to get in there and fight the other skeletons.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
I'm going to move into here. Do I have any penalties for going past the Nash?
So no, you'll be fine. You'll be able to squeeze past him, but just keep in mind that it being in the water is rough terrain. So you only have half movement.
Okay, that should be plenty. 10, yeah, because I can move 30, so that's right. Yeah, so I'll move to that position there.
Okay. And anything else for your turn?
Well, no, I think my action was to tell the skeletons, wasn't it? So
Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that is now the skeleton's turn. Okay. So they're going to start drudging their way through the water.
Do we switch turns, or do I turn?
Sorry,
no, those skeletons.
sorry. The friendly skeletons. They just push their way through past Vendetta and past Nebron, not really taking any notice to them, giving them a close eye, very quickly moving out of the way as they see them move. But they drudge on, quite slowed down by the water, but manage to make it that far. And it is now reeled back around to Thinesh.
Okay. I will hit the one to the south with my quarterstaff.
Of course. Two-hand or one-hand?
Two-handed.
Yep. Roll to hit.
I missed. I got 3 on the die, so 7.
Yes, that does miss.
All right.
So you do a quick, but you catch nothing but the wall next to him. A few shards fly off, but the skeleton's expertly dodged. It's now rolled around to the skeleton's turn. The two immediately next to you, Thinesh, are going to swing back and try to take hit on you.
Okay.
Did we establish if these skeletons are all have just swords and shields, except for that one with the bow, or?
So, I'll get you to make a perception check on your turn.
Okay.
I
retract my statement.
What's your AC again? 16?
11.
11?
Because I don't think actually, no, I did prepare. I'm trying to remember if I cast Mage Armor on me or not before we started.
So how long does Mage Armor last?
8 hours, I think.
If it's 8 hours, it's still on you from when you were fighting the Fists of Bane.
8 hours. Yes. So my armor class is 13.
Okay.
Damn.
They even with the
apologies. 14.
14.
Not the dexterity modifier.
Okay. And is that with or without Hellish Rebuke?
I don't have Hellish Rebuke, but I can use my reaction to increase it to 16.
Okay. They're both taking a swing at you.
Yep.
They're both looking like they're going to hit. That's even with a disadvantage rolled on the one that's frozen.
I will use my reaction on the one with the disadvantage roll.
So you can only... Is it temporary?
I only do it to one attack.
One attack. Okay. As they both swing, you harden over, ready to take the blow. However, it pushes through harder than what you imagine. And you manage to take a strike on both sides in both arms. And you cop 11 piercing damage.
Oh, shit. I'm down. Okay.
Yeah. they both strike out. The two skeletons towards the seen this great dire wolf just spawn in front of them. They're completely unfazed by it. They see it as a larger target to attack, and they both swing. And your AC carries over from your character.
No, I get the bark skin now because that overrides all.
Okay, so it's a dire wolf with bark skin.
Yes.
And as they both go to chop down on the wolf, they find that they catch nothing but these woody flakes that where they expected fur fly off as the swords glance off, dealing no damage.
I have to do Constitution save.
No, only if you take damage. Only if you take damage. So they've both missed. I've just narrated it that they've hit you but bounced off because you're tanky.
Yeah. Does Daddy drown?
Daddy will be prone and currently underwater, yes. I haven't actually looked at that. No, I think, does breathing still come into account?
Well,
It
when
is.
you're
You can hold
unconscious,
your
you
breath
need to
for.
breathe. He's
You
not
do,
dead. Yeah.
but you can hold your breath for a considerable amount of time as well.
Daddy, you're unconscious. You can't hold your breath.
I thought.
You're gonna
It's
try
the
and
same
breathe.
effect. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna say water's not filling his lungs until the time has passed. That would be his breath time, and I think it's 1 minute for every bonus to your Constitution you have.
yeah.
Yeah. So whatever your plus Constitution is, that's however many minutes you got before I'd say you'll start drowning.
So I got time. I'll look it up.
Okay. With that, it is now Rock's turn.
I attack the one to my left.
Yep. Roll to hit on your bite.
Did they both attack me with swords?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, the one to my left now.
Yep. Roll to hit.
It's +5, 17.
That hits. Roll damage.
Yeah, the top one attacked Darty with a bow before. Did he drop it to attack Apples with the sword?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I should have narrated that, but yes, he's put the bow down and he's now attacking with the sword.
14 damage.
Okay.
And if it survives, it has to do a DC 13 strength saving throw.
So you've jumped up and just latched directly on the skull of the skeleton and the massive jaws. You're not used to them since this is your first transformation as a dire wolf, and find that it easily collapses over. And with the pure strength that you bit down on, you manage to crush the skeleton skull all in one bite. The rest of the bones fall down and splash into the water as they collapse.
And I face myself towards the lad.
Yep.
The remainder.
Okay. What? Oh, it's piercing damage or one. Okay. All right. It is Nebra's turn. She's a bit shaken by the skeletons that have run past, but she's just going to back herself up against the wall where she feels a bit more safe. And with that, Izzy, it is your turn. So just quickly roll a perception check for.
0, 18.
I thought you actually rolled a 0. So looking ahead at the one that you'd frozen over slightly, you see that it is actually carrying a short sword with a small buckler in its opposite hand, but does have a bow mounted on its back. From that, you can tell that that's probably a standard weaponry for each skeleton that would be in the room.
Okay. Would there be room for me to move past the skeletons and try and lift Thanesh out of the water and use a shield?
Shield. Okay. So what's your movement? 30? 35? 30?
30, so I'd have 15.
So yes, you'll be able to. I'd say you'll be able to occupy that space, and you'll. Well, actually, sorry. You'll be able to make it to the space to the north. because you'll be able to do that diagonal movement. And based on the conversation that we had, you can't end your turn on a space that's occupied by something. But from here, I'd say that you're able to lean down and try and, as your action, raise Thanesh out of the water to keep his head above water.
All right, I grapple him up.
Okay.
Pull him up, whichever's easier.
The reverse grapple.
And it is now down to Vendetta's turn. And she's going to heed the advice of Nebra and saying that, yes, we should just hide and let them take care of it. And she's going to duck off to the side.
So that
Try and
now
put herself
means
out
that
of line.
Darty won't be drowning?
Yeah, well, that's certainly not going to set in. With that, Hevel, you'll go.
So Thanesh is actually unconscious, is he?
He is down, yes.
Yeah. What'd you run in the room for? What were you thinking?
I was thinking he was going to drown.
No, Thanesh, what's he doing?
I can't answer back. I'm drowning.
He's
No,
unconscious.
you're not drowning. You're just unconscious. You're out cold. You started taking a bit too much damage and you're bleeding out of both arms.
She's used to blindly following rock into things and hasn't realized that's a liability yet.
What's your total health pool, Darty?
20. I can't see it. I think it's 22. 22.
All right. I'm going to use Channel Divinity Preserve Life, and I'm gonna give 10 health to Thanesh and 5 health to Rock.
Okay. Is there any range restriction?
30 feet.
Okay. Yep, no worries.
Can you give that to my normal form? Because if not, I don't want it.
Let me
I'm
check
just
that.
looking at your current HP in your character thing, and it says 29.
I'm at 30 something for my dire wolf.
30.
37.
Okay.
Well, I have to track that one myself.
Okay. That healing would go to the wild shape's HP. So your HP does not matter until you lose your wild shape form, which means that your normal form cannot be healed while you're in wild shape.
All right. Well, with my Preserve Life, I can only heal someone up to half their max HP. So I can't. That would mean that some of it would go to waste, because if your Darty's health is 22, then I could heal a max of 11.
If that's how it's written, then yes. Maybe there's someone else in the group who might need healing.
I think it's just me. That's more.
No, not that I can heal.
I'm only missing 2 points.
Yeah, if I can't give it to Rock, then it'll just go to waste. But I think I'll still use it because I'll get him back up.
So you can go. So you've got 15 HP divided up to as many creatures within 30 feet, up to half of that creature's HP max.
Yes.
I'm reading that as so if Izzy only has 20 max HP, you could only give him 10 points of healing, but you should be able to then heal him from 10 to 20. Let me just double check that.
Yeah, not sure about that.
I'm only missing 2, not 10. And I assume you can't hear yourself with that?
Well, my health is high as well.
Oh, okay. No, so you can only bring them up to half. Yep, apologies.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to bring, so
Okay.
4 points of that will go to waste.
All right. That's fine. Let's do it.
Okay. So you channel radiating life energy out, directed all solely towards Thanesh. As you see him, as it pushes out, you see the wounds that are on both of his arms just slowly start to close up, and his eyes blinking back open with sudden shock of realizing that he'd been knocked underwater, spitting some of the water out in his mouth.
Excellent.
Okay, it is now the friendly skeleton's turn. Following your orders, one of them is going to push into the only corner that it can, provoking an attack of opportunity. As you see, as he walks past, the blade managing to catch on the rib cage, breaking off a few. But your skeleton is still determined to move. took 4 slashing damage, and he's going to turn to the one in the north and raise his short sword to attack. And with this sort of unexpected strength, strikes down on the neck of the skeleton, completely beheading it.
Nice. Good skeleton.
And the next one's going to move forward. It's going to drop its buckler and sword and pull out from its back the short bow and fire an arrow close range at the skeleton that's alive next. You see the arrow fling and catches it square in one of the eye sockets. The skeleton is looking extremely battered and bruised, bit oblivious as to why there's an arrow now sticking out of its head, but is ready to keep going. Dinesh, it is your turn. As a reminder, even though you're being helped up, you are still currently considered prone.
Yep.
And you
that's
would need
fine.
to use movement to get up.
I will rise from the murky depths. And I don't even want to know what was in that water. And I will again take another swing at the skeleton to the south with my quarterstaff.
Yep, roll to hit.
It's a good thing you don't want to know because it's probably been in and around you now.
The smell must be awful.
It's poop. Spoilers, it's poop.
14.
That hits, roll damage.
Oh, really? Okay. Four bludgeoning damage.
Yep, so as you swing it, just I guess with more pure rage after being knocked down and seeing the things that right in front of you still standing with this arrow sticking, with a pure cricket bat like swing, you completely cave in the rib cage of the skeleton, finding that it took more of a beating to that than you realize as the bones just crumble underneath it. Okay, anything else for your turn?
Nope. I will stand still.
And the last remaining skeleton is going to continue to batter at the jaws of this direwolf standing in front of it. As it slices, manages to catch the side of your face, Rock, as you take 3 piercing damage.
I found out in roll 20, I can put a health bar of it, so while I'm transformed, I'll use that for my health.
Yes.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, you guys can enable your health bars. If you want, I can go on and do that for you. Once you've done that, also, if you click on your character, you'll see that you get a little green circle at the top. You can actually use that to modify the values of the health bar as well. I'll take you through it after this combat. But yes, Rock. Yep, so you've taken 3 piercing damage, and it is now your turn.
In retaliation, I would like to numb him.
Numb away.
Keeps his by 13 plus 5 is 18.
That hits. Roll damage.
Um, 4 plus 3, 7.
Yep, and he needs to do a strength save. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yep. DC 13.
Yep. So as you crunch down on the skeleton, this time your aim's a bit off and you get it on the upper shoulder, but manage to do quite a considerable damage as you see bone shards flying off. As you try to pull him down, though, you find that he's got unnatural grip on the ground below, and this pulls himself free from your jaws, standing up still.
That will do me.
Okay. Nebra is going to take a turn to just come back and try and look up through the doorway and seeing a severely damaged, reeling back from taking a big swing and a bunch of crumbled skeletons, but nothing. It is now Izzy's turn.
I turn around and look at the other skeleton and I frostbite him.
Okay. Dex,
Constitution.
Constitution. He fails.
1d6. 5. And if that doesn't kill him, he has disadvantage on his next attack.
So you frostbite, and you see all these shards of ice just come out from the area that was bitten before, as all of this direwolf saliva was allowed it to be crusted over. You see the skeleton moving very slowly. It's Vendetta's turn. She's now getting curious herself. She's just going to peer up and try and look around the corner as the sounds of battle, giving her intrigue. And Hevel, your turn.
Me, right. I will head for this other skeleton and hit him with my mace.
Yep. Roll to hit.
That's good. That is 22.
That hits. Roll damage.
And I did 7 damage.
And as you crush down with the mighty force of an overhead, your mace follows through, completely disintegrating every bone that it travels past, as you see the skeleton reduced to complete dust in front of you.
Yes!
You pause for a moment, waiting to see if anything else is going to occur. However, you just hear the faint sounds of distant battle, the same faint sounds that you heard before, where Thanesh had described. However, there is no immediate threat to you in this room anymore. I'll get each of you to please add 50 XP.
Yeah. I think I could have taken that myself. Stupid the mesh getting all up in there.
Stop baiting the DM.
I soaked 21 points of damage.
Yes, you did. Okay, so just quickly, Hevel, what is your current HP and max HP?
Current is 19, max is 24.
Okay, just check that you can see that bar that's appeared there.
Interesting.
Izzy?
Current is 20, max is 22.
All I get for him is an actual bar, and I get numbers. Or on my own, I get numbers.
On your own, I think.
Yeah, I think it's only your own. How I'm setting it up. And Thanesh, yours?
11 out of 22.
I can change the vec. Hang on. This will make the numbers visible. Yep.
I'm happy to leave it off.
For
Up to you guys.
monsters, I don't think we should see it. But for us, I think we should, because otherwise, ours Hevel gonna know who to heal for how much. Because he actually heals by numbers, not percentages. Or
Yeah, I know the arguments to and for and against. Sorry, it's up to you guys. We'll put it on for the moment, but if you find that it's detracting from the RP, we'll disable it, and that's okay. Just leave it to you guys to talk about.
So the two people that we've saved, they've never seen me transform, have they?
That is correct, and they currently have not seen the wolf.
I swim under the water and pop out just in front of them.
Okay. What is your intention?
To swim and pop out and just see if I can get a bit of a rise. You know, just
Okay.
a nice big fucking wolf.
Can you roll performance for me, please?
I had to roll performance. I didn't even get to roll performance as a goddamn bard, did I?
You never
You did.
anything.
In the bar when we were drinking.
Oh yeah, that.
So you kind of like a shark, but unknown because of the murkiness of the water. You manage to sneak out and pop up as you see these two ladies trying to crane their neck around and see what's going on, but immediately turn to you, complete shock to see this wolf now appeared. They've they're a bit scared of you.
Oh no, he's now going to stink of wet dog.
While this is happening, considering the beating that I just took, I'm going to cast False Life on myself.
Okay. That's temp life for how long?
Now.
I called a Vendetta and Nebra to say, come in, it's safe in here now.
I just realised I should have been handing out my wild berries to all of this and just not taking them while I'm wild shape.
As you say that, they're like, but you hear Vendetta. Where is that wolf? The wolf. What's the wolf doing? He's going to attack. What? Look how scary he is.
I go some big ass puppy dog eyes.
I say, our dwarf is now the wolf.
Are you sure? He was so tiny.
I persuade him.
So
Pat him. He's a
tiny.
friend.
I snarl and pretty much rear up at the. Which one said it?
Vendetta said that. She's one at the back.
Yeah, I get right up there and start growling and just like, start approaching her towards the wall kind of thing. Making her regret what she said.
She's backing up against the wall, completely surprised and shocked. Meanwhile, Nebra, after hearing you, she's like, oh, that little man, he's a druid? Oh, I haven't seen a druid in wolf's years. Trying to make light of the situation.
This rock would kill them.
Correct, my dear. Now, best you be in here where it's safe.
Yeah, Rock. Yeah, he's starting to get really, really angry, and he, starts like full baring teeth, being called small while he's a giant wolf.
Nebra goes, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to offend. Now you're a big mighty wolf. Okay, so the sound of battle still faint, but echoing on as you hear clashes of metal on wood. What did your false life take you up to, by the way?
I got 6 temporary hit points.
Okay. Okay. So what do we do now?
So I'll remind everyone what I saw was the big burly dude with the club. Sorry, my cat is just smashing the microphone. Yeah, big burly dude with the club beating up a smaller cultist.
Okay.
Wasn't it the other way around? I can't remember.
Wasn't there? Sorry?
I can only remember one had half of his skull missing.
Yeah, wasn't it the small dude that was like winning?
Yeah.
I thought it was a big guy that was winning.
So, breaking character a little bit. There is a passage that I read. I would ask you to do a history check, and I would reread it based on the result. But as you guys are going to move around, at least I'm going to assume you're going to move around. I'll reread it once it's back in vision for you guys.
Okay.
I, give up on snarling at the shields because they're weak. And prod having to have a poke his head around since he's the other big bulky. We still got 20 seconds.
I reach down and touch Rock, and he turns invisible.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
Impressive.
How long does that last?
Good
Until you
question.
cast a
I think
spell.
it's fairly short.
Concentration
hour.
up to 1 hour.
Although, doesn't it break if he does an action?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Well, in that case, I start slowly making my way through, trying not to splash too much water as I do it. Keeping to this side of the poles, and start making my way like a little shark, using
Okay.
my tail for breathing.
tail breathing. I'll get you to make a stealth check with advantage for me, please.
Like super advantage.
Just regular
I
advantage.
got a nat 20, which with stealth. Oh, it's the wolf stealth. Does he have bonus? Plus 4. I got 24.
Yeah, 24. Okay. Now it's just you moving up. The rest of the group, are you?
Yeah, as soon as Rock realized he was invisible, he didn't care about anything else and just started, making his way.
Okay. So as you're moving up, you see straight ahead of you, beyond the hall, the flooded chamber opens up with a rough-hewn steps climbing to the south, north, and north. The floor buckles above the waterline in the middle of the room, forming a small island. Corpses and doused torches float in the water around the island, atop of which two men circle each other with weapons barred. One of the men, a tall, unarmored brute with a great club and a scarred face, towers above his opponent, but is gravely wounded. The smaller figure is muscular and bare-chested. He clutches a bloody dagger in one hand and a torch in the other, and has no flesh covering his skull.
Which one is which?
So in terms of the icons, the one towards the southwest is the tall man, and the dude with no flesh covering his skull. The shorter dude is to the northeast.
So as Rock takes off, I say to Hevel, you should lead us around the corner. I'm a little bit sort of taken aback, and my pride's sort of been hurt a little bit after copying so many hits from the skeletons. And I'm seeking to not bait someone, but look for someone else for protection.
Well, I don't know what's happened to the wolf, but I turn the corner and I quietly make my way towards this
Okay.
area.
And as we go, I'll turn to Nebra and Vendetta and say, hide in the room that we just fought the skeletons. We'll be back. And
I'd like to get
Moving
as
forward.
close as I can. And fully as soon as these two notice, I want to just full pounce and get the flesh.
Okay.
That's what I'll call him from now on, flesh.
So with that, Nebra turns to you, Thanesh, and says, "Oh, I just saw you killing 4 skeletons in there. No, thank you. I'm going to stay as close as I can. You guys can protect me."
I say, no questions. In the room.
"Oh, you're not going to stop me. I still got determination, even though I've been here for a few days." And she continues to move up.
Does the door lock?
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Okay.
From what you can tell, no.
Trying to lock them in there.
I was gonna.
Oh, what are we doing with your skeleton?
Yeah. So have all your skeletons as well?
Skellies, come along. Follow.
So they follow along. Now, Hevel, you said you were being quiet. Are you trying to be...
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm stealthily moving up.
can you please make a stealth check with disadvantage?
I'll make one as well.
3.
Okay. So
I rolled a nat 20. Like, there's no point. That's just wasted.
all right. So your skeletons are going to move on up. And Nebra and Vendetta, being pulled along by Nebra's confidence, are going to creep up and peer around. Now, Rock, you're in position. However, the skull-headed man has noticed the sounds of splashing come through from your less stealthier and turns and sees you, Hevel, and then plus some other shadows off into the distance. Turns to the man he's fighting and says, "Oh, that's not like you to have friends here more. Still, I don't think it's fair that we fight here. Come find me if you want. Bring your friends if you have." And he disengages from combat and launches himself up towards the northern stair.
Would Rock have got an attack of opportunity?
No, because he's done a disengage.
Dumb.
The man, the giant man, sees that the cultist has taken. Now notices you, Hevel, and sees. No, he doesn't see you, Rock. Sorry, you're still invisible. Sees you, Hevel, and he yells out to you, "Stop! Please don't! Don't! I'm not going to survive any longer if they keep going."
You're
What
not going
do
to
you do?
survive any longer if they keep going. What do you mean?
I managed to beat off 4 of them before, but there are just too many of them. He got so many lucky stabs into me. He's way too quick. I don't think I could have survived. Thank you for coming here and scaring him off, though.
Who are
no
you
worries.
working?
Oh, sorry, Hevel?
I said, yeah, no worries.
I
Is
ask, who's he working for?
My name is Mortlock Van Thamper. I work for the family. Maybe you've heard of us. We run this bathhouse, and we've been running this operation.
He runs the bathhouse.
Yeah, my family owns the bathhouse. It's owned by my mother, and she tasked me with overseeing the operation here.
So I've got notes here. So yeah, he's correct. We were told by the 2 workers upstairs that the family does own it, but the son Mortlock visits this bathhouse and comes down here. I think that's my note.
Okay. So why was he fighting? What were you fighting? Why? What are you doing down here in the sewer?
I've been betrayed. These assassins, they've conspired with my brothers to kill me. If you hadn't come along, I'd be dead. I owe you my life.
I sort of feel from what the workers said that the son was in cahoots with the cultists. So can I make an insight check to see if I can get a read on him?
Of course. Yeah, roll for insight.
Oh, that's not half bad. 14.
Okay. In interest of what we said at the start of the session, I've messaged you.
Okay. I'll follow up behind Hevel. I'll say, he looks like he's telling the truth here. Like, I'll just say it just quite enough for just Hevel to hear. And if Izzy is close by, then he can hear as well. But if he's hanging back, Izzy won't have heard.
So your brothers are in cahoots with these cultists, and they tried to kill you.
That's correct. I will share everything I can to help you with. Just please, I need your honor. Don't hurt. I will help you.
Okay. As long as you're honest and don't betray us, we'll help. We hear from the guard, the Flaming Fist.
Then you're in big trouble. See, my family, they were paying the dead 3 cultists to murder people, and it was our goal to prove the Flaming Fist can't do its job. Once the city stops paying them, the Flaming Fist will have less of a reason to stay in Baldur's Gate. With them gone, no one else can stand in the way of my mother becoming the next Grand Duke. If she gets her way, Baldur's Gate will share Elturel's fate and be dragged down into the 9 hells.
That sounds pretty intense. All right.
We all have
well,
parent troubles, lovely.
Sorry,
What?
what was that? Is it?
We all have parent troubles, lovely.
so
Sorry, yeah.
your mother and your brothers are involved in this? Who are your brothers?
So my oldest brother, his name is Thirstwell, and he uses imps as spies throughout the city. He even has this bathhouse under surveillance and probably knows that you're here. He's very sickly and seldom leaves our mother's estate.
Okay. Mother's estate. Well, that you got attacked by an imp, didn't you?
Would he know
did,
if he
yep.
was missing an imp?
He would. He has a few, so he can keep a constant watch, rotating them around. If they haven't checked in, then yes, he would know if one was missing.
Is any of your family here now in the bathhouse?
No, it's only me that looks after the bath. They tasked it with me because my mother, she despises me, and she only keeps me around due to a promise that she made to my father that I must stay alive. But she gives me the most mundane, boring, awful jobs out there. I secretly think she wants to kill me off, but knows that she can't break her promise.
All right. Do you have other brothers involved?
Yeah, I only have the two brothers, and my other one, his name is Amric. The dead three cultists receive regular payments from him. He runs his own money laundering business out of a tavern called the Low Lantern. My mother doesn't expect much of me, but she thinks the world of Amric. He's always been her favorite.
Nice.
And what brought you to be fighting down here?
Oh, like I said, I've been betrayed. It's obvious that my brothers, they've paid off the cultists to try and kill me. I think they've worked out that the cultists, they don't need me here for their operation to be a success, so they've worked out some way to make some extra money.
Did you?
And what's your mother's name?
My mother, her name is she's Duke Thalamra Van Thampra. Hang on, let me check the pronunciation.
Van Therampora.
Yeah, Thalamra Van Thampa.
Did I? Why did I already write that down somewhere?
Yeah. Make a history check if you like.
I'd recorded this as a note, but I was like, why is my note autocorrecting? History is 6.
Okay. So you recall that under the leadership of Baldur's Gate, it is led by a cohort of a Grand Duke and 3 Dukes. And you recall that Thalamra is one of the current Dukes.
Valamra.
Thalamra. Yeah,
Valamra. Right, and she wants to become the Grand Duke.
correct.
Like getting rid of the Flaming Fist.
Is the Grand Duke the highest position of Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'll get you to make a history check as well for me, please.
5.
You guys are terrible at this. Just
I know. This is lovely.
So you do recall that yes, the highest rank, who is considered the current ruler of Baldur's Gate, is the Grand Duke. He works with the other dukes, but essentially gets to vote as 2 to break ties.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you should tell us?
So, I also got to follow up with that. Like, do you know these caves well? Where did that cultist run to?
Yes, he's. Of course, I know it well. I've been running this operation for quite some. He's ran to. It's like their meeting room, but it has 3 statues, one to each of their gods, their filthy gods that they follow. He's probably gone to pray for strength.
Okay.
Who?
So,
Who was the guy that attacked him?
The man that was attacking me, he's a lowly cultist leader who goes by the name of Vaz.
Vad.
Vaz. V-A-Z.
So you think he's gone to pray for power?
I think so. He's one of the leaders of the cult down here. And to think if you've actually made it this far, you've killed off most of the leaders of the Dead Three. Without them, the cult will very likely break up.
Upon hearing this, Rock just starts making his way towards the stairs, not wanting him to gain strength. He wants to nod that.
He looks to you, Thanesh, and he says, the other piece of information I can give you is if you look over there, and he points towards the southeastern stairwell.
Yep.
It says the cultists have been keeping their treasure up there.
Rock's ears perk up. He makes his way back.
I subtly searched the body in front of me for stuff whilst I asked him. So, did you say you initially were working with the cult to get rid of the fiery flaming fist that is us that we work for?
Yep. Make a perception check as you're searching the dude.
NPC, Oblivion NPC dialogue.
I did a team roll 5.
Oh, he's on fire. As you search through, you see that it's very much like a few of the other cultists that you fought around here. And while there is a dagger on this body, there is nothing else of value. You can add 1 dagger to your inventory if you like.
More
Right.
daggers.
I feel like all these people we should take back to the Flaming Fist.
So your question to him is, how did you get involved, or?
Sorry, is that for me?
No. Izzy asked a question while he was searching.
Yeah. So, how did you get involved working with the cult to begin with?
So we were brought on purely just to try and get my mother into power. She wants to become the Grand Duke. She wants to rule Baldur's Gate. But if that is to happen, Baldur's Gate will suffer the same fate as El Terrell.
And what is it that you want?
I just want to live. I've had enough of the backstabbing of my family. I've had enough of looking after these awful people. I just want to get out of Baldur's Gate and start my life anew.
I wish I could ask questions. One of you guys should ask how she's going to take it to the 9 gates of hell or whatever. Come on, it's an obvious one.
You
It's a woman.
You hear barking coming from some innocent location within the room, unable to spot what's going on.
What's that, boy? I want to know how they're going to take us to the 9 gates of hell. Ah.
Little skip
Wow.
claws appear, and it's like,
My dog friend over here wants to know how your mother is going to take us to the gates of hell.
he doesn't know I'm there. I'm invisible.
Yeah, he's
He used
dog
his
friend.
paw
What?
He's
to
invisible.
grab
Don't
some
worry about it.
water
Answer the
and
question.
write it on the wall.
I don't know the exacts of how it got pulled down there, but from what I've heard through my family, is that it had to do with a deal done with one of the devils, and as part of the contract, it has expired. If you wish to know more, my mother will be the one to talk to.
All right.
All right, treasure
Well-
first or kill dudes first?
Treasure.
Treasure.
And then we should take these people back to the Flaming Fist and let them do whatever they want with them.
You don't want to pursue the.
Which people are you talking about? Sorry.
Well, we've got the 2 ladies that have been coming with us, and this guy, Amric. No?
Mortlock.
Mortlock.
Yeah, Amric was the other bad one.
Yeah.
Amric is his younger brother.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of his brothers. Yeah. And Thirstwell is his older brother.
Yeah. Well,
Rock continues up into the treasure room out of order.
Boredom. Okay. Yep.
He invisibly searches the room for all of the loot, even though he can't have it. He can't pick it up.
So as you walk up the stairwell, immediately in your vision is 4 wooden treasure chests. Well, sorry, I should say 4 wooden chests.
He tries to ascertain whether or not his giant dire wolf paws are capable of using treasure chests.
as you look around and start pouring at the connection and the seam, you notice that each chest is padlocked shut by an iron padlock.
Can he be whimpering as well?
Sure.
I'll call back to Mortlock and I'll say, "Hey, who has the key?"
Mortlock shouts back, still in the sanctuary of the Isle. One of the cultists was carrying around a whole chain of them. He was sort of the key master.
I'll pull out all the keys and just start trying them on these chests.
Yep. Rock, I'll also say that your action of trying to pour at the chest has revealed you now. And
So,
the invisibility is
I will say the invisibility spell specifically says attacking or casting spells break the spell.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification.
Whew.
Yeah. Until
Gonna
this
go my ambush round 2.
the spell ends on the target that attacks or casts a spell. Okay. All right. You're fine. You're still invisible. Dinesh, as you move up, as you work your way around the chest, you find after a few tries, you manage to identify a key that each works in each lock.
Okay. I'll unlock the chests, and I'll just unlock them and move to the next chest.
Yep.
Until I get to the last one, and then I'll open up the last one. I'll leave the others for the others to open.
Okay. On the chest that you open, you see just a lowly bronze crown with 5 spires. Each spire is shaped and painted to resemble one of the 5 kinds of chromatic dragons.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
So each one is colored a different color:
Okay.
black, blue, green, red, and white.
Nice. I'll leave it there for the moment, but I'm actually going to take a step back and begin casting Ritual of Detect Magic.
Okay. Yep. So that's.
I'll just say to everyone, it's like,
Did
hey,
you unlock everything else?
I've unlocked all the chests. I just say, hey, look, I'm just going to cast Detect Magic to see if I can get a sense if anything might be dangerous, or if we should proceed with caution.
Yep. Others, what are you doing?
I searched all these other bodies just to make sure there's nothing of value there too.
Yep. Roll perception for me, please.
11.
So much the same as the first cultist that you find, you just find somewhere nearby, floating off in the water. But as you pat down on each of the bodies, you just find waterlogged pocket.
Rock moves up to the top here to sit in the water to kind of keep an eye on Mortlock because he doesn't trust him.
Yep.
And he can't use treasure chests.
You can. Oh no, you can't pocket
Good
it.
note.
So...
But you can open it with your clumsy paws.
yeah, I could, but yeah.
Imagine swallowing something and then you becoming really small, then having to pass that now big size.
Rock assumes that, his friendly wizard will, realize that this is lovely druidic loot and give it to him.
Yep. Hevel?
I'd probably say to finish. I want to look at these chests. I probably say, are you checking for like this crown to see if it's cursed or something, or are you trying to check if these are trapped chests?
Not so much trapped, but just trying to see if anything is giving off a magical aura, so we can decide if we want to pick it up or interact with it.
Well, I might. While he's doing that, I'll open up the other chests, just have a look at what's inside them.
Okay. All right. So the first one that you raised. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Before he finishes casting Detect Magic, Rock realizes what he's about to do and bowls him over. Doesn't do any damage, just knocks him so his ritual fails, and he can't waste his concentration on that. It's lovely visibility. He just gives him an invisible nudge, Dire will
Bad
start.
dog. Bad.
Yeah. All right. I suppose he has a point.
Okay.
I'll just pick
So-
up the crown.
So he nudges you. Okay. Yeah. So just add a note of a crown in your inventory.
I come in to look at the shinies.
All right. Hevel, the chest you open, you see scattering in it a lot of a lot of copper coins. But on top of the mound of copper coins in this chest, you see 2 red crystal vials just on top, sort of with they're corked and the points touching, just laid neatly on top of that chest.
I won't touch them yet. I'll just we'll have a look at what is there and then decide what we do with it.
Okay. Izzy, you also looking? Yes.
Well, in name of caution, I'll use Mage Hand to open the lids of the other chest.
Okay. Your mage hand, after they've been unlocked, easily lifts the chest up. The lids up. They're now open. No effects are going on.
What do we see in them?
Yep. So you approach the second chest, and in there you see a few gems scattered through, what looks to be quite a considerable amount. Not as much as the copper that Hevel saw, but a considerable amount of silver coins. And you checking the third one?
Yep.
Okay. You look over into the third one. You see resting on top of a spattering of copper, so a large amount of copper that's glinting with silver coins all through it. A porcelain mask. It's in the shape of a dragon.
A few dragon things going around, huh?
Yeah.
Bullshit. I say we kill the dragon, and I learned how to transform it.
The Dragonborn.
Right. Well, let's count up these coins and divide it amongst ourselves.
Um,
All right. So just to remind everyone, I've got an hour on my invisibility for rock.
Yep. And remind me, Dadi, when we came across a treasure hoard, you said that there's a time value for however much treasure.
I just made that up.
Okay. I'm going to make it up too. And you pick up a handful of these coins and you start counting through 1, 2, 3, flicking them back into the treasure chest as you're going through. And you barely make a dent. To go through one of these chests, you would need around about an hour to 2 hours just to go through the sheer amount of coins that you see in there.
All right. Well, what else is in this?
Can
So
we
there's a
grab like
staircase going up, so there's clearly something else going on. All right, so we'll have to come back then.
Can we just like grab 4 handfuls first?
Are you
I have
each taking a
feeling
handful?
We're going to go to hell, and all our worldly possessions won't matter.
Silver is important, hell. You need to throw it to fight demons.
I'll I'll begin ritual casting. This time, Tensor's floating disc.
Okay. The dog. Wait, does that concentration as well to
No,
ritual cast?
No, I checked.
Oh.
It's just a thing that just happens and just tags behind me.
Okay. All right. So that's still 10 minutes.
It is.
All right.
So, all right. So I'll complete that, and then I'll load up the treasure chests and pop them on the disc.
Okay. Can you make a strength check for me, please?
Ooh, okay. 6.
You got to lift up the first one, the one that has the extreme amount of copper in it, and you find it's too heavy for you to move by yourself.
All right, well,
I'll give you a hand then.
call for a help.
Dinesh.
Okay.
Nice.
With both of you actually getting a handle on either side, you find that combined you are now strong enough to lift it up on top of the disc.
Now, I will say the disc can only hold 500 pounds. So if there's more than that in coins,
Take
Yeah,
the silver
okay.
one.
Okay. All right. Well, you put the first one on there,
Yep.
And you find that the disc is holding fine.
cool. Right, yeah, I'll
Sweet.
continue loading up the others.
Yep. The second one.
Oh, the empty ones I won't leave. Just the ones filled with coins, really.
Yep. So there's only one that's empty. The other 3 are fine. full. Sorry. So you lift the second one on. There's no wobble or anything that goes on with the, and you lift the third one on. And you're a bit cautious because the size of the chests is starting to, they're taking up about the whole size of the disc, and but plonks, and it holds steady.
Cool. All right, this thing lags behind me at 20 feet, I think. Yeah. So it just follows me at almost like a tether at 20 feet. So I can't push it or direct it or anything like that. It'll just, float along.
Okay.
While they're wasting their time doing that, Rock goes and has a quick check at the stairs, see what we can see at the back.
Yep. So looking up, you just see a stairwell leading up into a corridor.
And he just goes up a little bit to see square up.
So while you're doing that, I'll have a look at Mortlock, and is his wounds grievous? Is he likely to succumb to them, or is he looking okay?
Yep. So do a medicine check for me, please.
10.
So Mortlock's now sitting down on top of the mound. He's laying down his great, and he himself is also tending to his own wounds as he sees what the damage is. And from your check, looking over him, you can see that he's bleeding. However, he still has quite a bit of strength in him that you can see, and you feel relatively safe that he's not going to succumb to the wounds.
I'll just ask him, will you help us take on the last of the cult here in the bathhouse?
I will, but you need to heal me first. I have some strength, but I'm definitely not what I used to be before this fight started. If you've got anything you can to fix me up, I will give you my help.
Sadly, I don't personally, but perhaps one of my companions might be able to help you.
There's 2 red vials here.
By all means, throw him in.
I throw him a red vial, and I'm like, have a little taste of that. See if that's a healing potion.
No, that gave him dragon breath.
Well, I said a little taste of it, and see what it is.
So he catches it, eyes you off suspiciously, and he's like, I don't know what these cultists have done with this treasure. I don't think it's in my interest to try this.
All right, I go over and I gesture for him to hold the vial out to me, and I dip my finger in it and take a taste.
So you uncork the golden stopper that's on top of it. You dip your little finger in, and as the liquid touches your tongue, you feel a very strange burning sensation, as if fire does want to spew from your mouth. You give a little cough as 2 sparks sort of shoot out from you.
All right, that's not healing. All right, does the other vial look exactly the same in color?
It does.
All right. Well, these are 2 fiery breath folk potions. Who wants them?
I'm okay for the moment. You can have them.
And I sort of say, I don't really want to get close enough to be using those. Perhaps you might be the best to hold these.
Says the Dragonborn who already does it.
Right. And we'll pocket that mask as well.
The porcelain mask?
Yep.
Okay, so
Dinesh has the crown. I'll have the mask and the 2 vials. I won't do anything with the mask yet, but hold it. And as for this guy with the healing, I've got 2 second-level spell slots left, so I could give him a heal, but it's a pretty big burn for it. Does anyone else have anything?
Looking at the bodies on the ground, I'd probably say, could be worth it.
No, he killed the bodies.
That's what I mean. We're healing him because he smashed all these cultists.
Just throw me a perception check, please, Dinesh.
16.
So on closer inspection, as you look around, trying to convince you notice that each of the skulls of these cultists appear to be caved in by a great bludgeoned weapon.
And I'll just point out to the faces of these dead cultists and say, look at how smashed in they are. He did that. Let's heal him up.
I woof telepathically from a long distance, put into the mind of Thanesh that easily Spider Druid could do this. This is it. And as I do that, I continue to walk down here as stealthily as I can and looking around to see if there's anything of worth. I want to just know pretty much if this is an alternate way to where the big bad guy is.
I don't react, by the way.
As you enter that room, you see off down to the southeast a wooden crate, but otherwise the room is bare except for a closed doorway in front of you.
Fucking doorways. I head back, obviously not able to tell anyone, and I'm invisible, so I can't even point it out. And yeah, get down to here and just await to see if anything big and bad comes.
I asked Mortlock, what does he know about the two north tunnels?
So the you mean the north tunnels that you're looking at now? Yeah. So as I said before, the room up ahead to the north is a meeting room where the cultists would go about planning their day of where they're going to attack, and there's these 3 statues in there, one to each of their gods. The one off to the left leads to a crate with it's our torch storage container. It's where they need to get their torches to go around the town at night. And then in the other room, there's it's a storage area just for some more everyday things that they need throughout the day. There's a mess of crates, and for some reason there's some rats that got out.
And is there only one way in or one way out?
The 2 rooms, the storage room and the prep room do connect, but there is a bit of a that does separate them.
All right. Everybody, let's all huddle to like within 30 feet of each other, including the skeletons and the 2 girls that we're escorting, because I'll do a area of effect heal. So of the 2 girls that are with us, which one has the least health, if it matters?
So they're both actually at maximum health.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because the Vendetta was healed, but the old lady. Sorry, I didn't make you check that. Just make a medicine check for Nebra for me, please.
17.
Yeah. So as you look over, you actually see that she is quite healthy.
All right. Well, I'm going to cast a prayer of healing, which is going to take 10 minutes to cast. And at the end, 6 of us within 30 feet will get 2d8 plus 3.
Okay.
Healing.
So as you approach and you start, tell everyone to approach and you start channeling the ability, you hear a bit of a gasp from Ven, where she goes, "What's that monster doing? I see him walking around when I was being taught. He's one of the Van Themp. His family is the ones who did this."
I pipe in and say, yes, we know he's told us. For the moment, though, our goals seem to be aligned, and he's going to assist us. But we'll deal with him and what he's done once we get through this.
I don't trust it. Can you let me go? I swear, I will get away and tell everyone of all the good things that you've done.
I don't think so.
As she says that, the skeletons start getting closer to her, as if understanding your will, and just keep one aside to maintain a bit of calm with her. And as Nebra turns to her and says, "It's okay, dear. We'll get through this together. these guys will protect us. They've done a good job so
And if he turns on us, the Nesh will get smacked in the face again.
Probably.
So a bit more idle chit chat just goes on, but nothing of interest is said as your spell finishes, and this radiance of energy comes out from.
And does that also heal that one skeleton that got wounded?
Well, it's 6
No,
characters.
undead can't be healed.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So how much are we healing?
It says 2d8 plus 3, so I guess that would be 2d8 rolls and then 3 on top of that.
Correct.
Yeah, and everyone gets that 2d8 plus 3, correct?
Yeah, it's up to 6 people, so effectively everyone here.
I rolled
Is that
double eights.
shared or each? That's
Yeah.
huge.
Does everyone roll their own individual roll, or is it one
That's
roll
fine,
that you
interpreted.
do?
The wording
I
is
would.
up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range.
You would roll
Each
it,
regain
actually.
hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
No, you would roll that.
Okay.
Yeah, creatures of your choice.
Oh, it's an 8
Okay, that's a good sign.
and a 1. That's 9.
9.
3 is
Shame
12
you didn't
health
keep that.
each for everyone.
How much was that, sorry?
12.
12. But you are unaffected. Oh, actually, sorry, your wolf did take 3
Yeah,
hit points.
I
So
got
your wolf
3.
heals up. So each of you guys will, I think, are now at full HP each, I believe,
Except for Rock.
That takes me to full.
except for Rock's character. You see, as you look over Mortlock, and a number of the cuts, especially a deep one that had been in his lower abdomen, start to close over. They're not fully closed over, however, they're starting to look more like scars, with some specks of blood and smaller holes. Now he stands up with renewed vigor, picks up his great club, and says, "Oh, that's hit the spot. That'll help me go through. Let's finish this punk who tried to kill me."
Nice. All right. All begin
Um,
to.
Brock, realizing that everyone's going to start leaving, tries to get a bit of a lead so we can get ready for another hand.
Yeah. Now, DM, how much longer would be on my invisibility spell? We have done 2 ritual casts and looked through treasure chests and also spoke with Mortlock.
Yep. So, I would say that you still have about 20 minutes left.
Would that mean I have a good 10 minutes on my bark skin, considering it's a big fight then walked in?
Yes.
Right, cool. It's the one I was most worried about.
Okay. So as you enter into this room, you see burned torch stubs litter the floor in this hall. The western end, which is occupied by 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop. Oh, actually, sorry. I'll stop there because I see that Dabondi's not easy. I'll wait for him to come back so he can listen.
He's invisible too.
Yeah. I'll just refill my drink.
Go for it.
But if he comes back, Reed, I've got the headphones.
Okay.
Tish brought me this. It is the yummiest rum ever. We went to a whiskey thing where we got to try whiskeys of the world, and we had this spice, and it's somewhere between rum and port. It's so nice to just sip on.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Oh. Okay, for getting a job apparently.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just reading through. Rock has entered into the next area, and I didn't want you to miss out on the section. So yeah, burned torch stubs litter the floor of this hall, the western end of which is occupied by 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, making it look taller and foreboding. The center statue resembles a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome vigor of his helmet. He's painted red except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in the gauntlet is a blood-red spear pointed upward. The statue to the north depicts a purple-garbed male noble wearing a harlequin mask and holding a dagger behind his back. The statue to the south portrays a black-robed skeleton with its jaw open wide and bony hands outstretched.
As I go into this, the stone things that they're on and the statues themselves, do they look fixed? As in, are they nailed down, or do they look like they could be bowled over by a giant eye?
So make a perception check for me, please.
Perception +3 on the die of 19.
So you can see that the stone pedestal that they are standing on is attached to the. However, the wooden statues themselves appear to be standing freely on top of the stone pedestals.
I make my way along the south wall and try and position myself here as quietly as I can, just under the statue and, well, between these two.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You go. You go.
I was going to say, we as a group haven't seen this description just yet.
Not yet.
Given the skeletons, I'm still reluctant to be first after the invisible dog.
Okay. So each of you, what are you doing? You have no idea that the wolf has gone into the room due to the invisibility spell.
Well, the heal's gone off. The idea was to go further.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we'd be walking into the room.
I wait for our heavily armored friends.
Yes.
I walk in with no care for anything.
All right. And Mortlock follows through. And the two girls follow closely by your skeleton. They're just going to come up. Sorry, they're just going to come up to the wall, feeling close enough to you that they're sanctuary, but far enough away from the fight. They're at harm's reach. The skeletons, still feeling your last command, are going to come up with them and just keep an eye on Veg. As you each enter the room, you see the cultist that was named as Vaz by Mort. Let me reveal the name. You see him kneeling towards the northernmost statue, muttering to himself, getting his composure. Rock, even though you're invisible, I'll get you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Natural 20.
Not you.
That's right.
I was just checking if the wolf has charisma.
Sorry, I thought you said everyone.
No, sorry, Rock.
Can I have his natural 20? Charisma. +1, so 14.
Okay. As you're walking into position, you feel an unnatural pull towards the center statue, but you manage to push it to the back of your mind for the time being. So as
knowing that I've just had that happen, and realizing that these can all be toppled, I was going to try and topple the first one as soon as combat began. But I'd like to position myself as soon as shit breaks out, because I can see these other guys are walking in. I'd like to just woofly push the big one that tried to lure me, because I don't trust it.
Okay. All right. So as the rest of you guys enter, Vaz slowly stands up and gives one final nod to the statue in front of him. And he turns to the crew and says, "Oh, I'm glad that you managed to join me. Let's see if you've really got the guts to take me on again, Mortlock." And with that, I'll get everyone to roll initiative, please.
17.
20.
14. God damn it, guys.
Should you be 19?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
So Thaneshi was 17, yes? Daddy,
Hey, yes, 17.
17. And Rock, what were you? Sorry.
14.
Okay. Hevel, what are your skeletons doing at this point in time? Are they still doing the thing that they were doing?
Yes. They've
Okay.
done the instructions.
I need more goddamn bookmarks. Hang on.
Post-its.
Yeah, I got them, but they're too thin for what I need to do right now.
Such good skeletons. These cultists know what they're doing. Yeah.
Why would we
Careful.
challenge them? Let's join.
Heaven's
Fast.
turning.
This is where the cleric turns dark, gets into necromancy.
God damn it, it's Doderick all over again.
Okay, so as you hear Vaz's invite to start combat, you hear a muffled, high-pitched squeal coming from the room behind you, and you see walking out.
Oh god.
What's her name again?
Nabora?
You're telling the
Nebra.
story, man.
Nebra.
Nebra.
You see Nebra walking out, in one hand a bloody dagger, and
What?
you see her drop the veil of an old woman. Hang on.
Do we know Nebra?
Was that the chick that was with us the whole time?
Has
That
been
we
with us
rescued
since
her from the bloody thing.
You see
Yeah.
Nebra come out. The guise of the old woman now drop as she's walked past you all, clutching the bloody dagger, and she says, "I've now got rid of that stupid, foolish girl. It's time for you to all meet the end of your fate." And as the veil of the old woman disappears, you see what is now a cloaked figure of very similar to the ones that you saw as you originally entered into the bathhouse at nighttime, ready to join the fray.
It's pretty dark.
It is dark.
And with that, we're now in our proper combat, and Thanesh, you are first. So Nebra, Nebra was a false name, as you now understand. The cultist, hooded cultist, has moved themselves into position next to you.
Okay. All right. And I'm just gonna say, what have you done? And I'm gonna look for the heaviest object that's under 5 pounds, and I'm going to launch it at her.
Yep. So there's plenty of torch stubs on the ground.
She needs to make a dexterity 12 save.
Throw 5 pounds of copper at her.
Just it's launch coins.
Shrapnel.
Yep. So she got a 23.
Okay, it misses.
So she's, as you can tell by the quickness that you're surprised to come from what is an old woman, but as you can tell, she's no longer old and I've been fooled by her disguise. She darts around quickly, avoiding the shard of an old torch stub being launched at her.
And I'll stand my ground and just leer at her.
Yep. Okay. Rock, it is your turn. Oh, no, sorry. Apologies. You were not meant to be first, Thanesh. It's because I drew it wrong. Hevel was meant to be first. So Hevel, take your turn now.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose I would turn to the chick behind us and head for her, assuming that Mortlock is going to go for Vaz, and I don't know where Rock is. So, and then I would run to her and take a swing at her with.
Yep. Roll to hit.
That's good. That was 22.
That hits. Roll damage.
Oh, 3. 3 damage.
Okay. So as you swing, at this now hooded figure. You catch a lot of the cloth that is hanging off the hood, but you feel the contact of some flesh as she's taken the damage from the hit. Anything else for your turn?
Yell for the skeletons to get in here.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So the skeleton now moving in. And what is your command to them?
Attack Vaz.
Vaz. Okay. So as they move in, slowed quite heavily from the water, but still manages to get in quite some way. This skeleton readies their short bow and makes an attack at Vaz.
Nice.
However, the arrow shoots off and sticks into the statue that's standing in front of him. The second one makes it up into the room and also sees what his skeleton is doing, his skeleton friend, and raises his short. This time, launching out with ease and connecting into the back of that, hitting him. You see the arrow lodge in, and is stuck into the back of.
What legend? Good on.
Just gotta check. Yep, that's all fine. After that, it is Rock.
I would like to do a nice shove on this wooden statue and knock it into the.
Okay, make a athletics check for me, please.
I take the wolf's one for that, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Yep.
Do I go the dex +2 on that?
Strength athletics.
Strength +3. Yeah, 13.
So as you rear up on your hind leg, Vaz turns and sees this now revealing direwolf as it's got its paws pressed against the statue, as the statue manages to collapse off forward towards Vaz, crumbling with splinters of wood breaking everywhere, and the spear that was in its hand now tinking on the ground. That weird pull that you felt before dissipates with the collapse of the statue.
Cool.
Smash the other ones.
And I'd like to back myself up into this water here,
Okay.
as to facing Basley.
Yep, no worries. So it is now Vaz's turn. And he is going to... sorry. He's going to head towards Mortlock with the vengeance that he saw, that he still had from the fight before. And he's going to use his multi. First, he's heading towards. He targets Mort, giving Mortlock this overwhelming gaze as the eyes that are in this fleshless give a real strange pierce towards. However, Mortlock just sort of shrugs it off, unbeknownst to him what has gone, but then sees Vaz running towards him with his dagger outstretched and torch in the other, and makes 2 slashes towards Mortlock. As you see, both dagger strikes manage to make a contact in the lower abdomen. And it is, after that, it will be Izzy's turn.
I will cast Hold Person on. So he has to.
Wait, who are you casting at?
Vaz, he's a humanoid, isn't he?
Yep.
Sorry, 1 second. Yep. So sorry. Yes, Vaz is a humanoid.
Yep, so I cast Hold Person, so he has to make a Wisdom saving throw. And at the
17.
he passes. Damn it. Alright, I ready up my crossbow and I don't do anything else.
Yep. Okay. It
Just a
is.
quick one,
Yep.
because I might have missed something. Is Vendetta dead?
Yes, based on our knowledge.
Based on the knowledge that you heard a female scream and that Nebra did say that she's finally done with that annoying girl.
Aren't the two skeletons protecting him?
So they were watching. Well, they were watching Vendetta to make sure that she didn't escape. They weren't so much protecting her. Right now, she's a corpse in the water. That's not moving.
That's good.
She ain't escaping. Okay, Izzy just went. It is now Mortlock's turn. And Mortlock screams out in absolute agony as both of these dagger strikes have opened up existing wounds that existed in the lower abdomen as blood is now pouring out. And he screams out saying, "Don't let them stab you. It'll do more than you realize." And with that, he raises his great club to make a swing on Vaz in front of him. As you see both of them make an extreme hit against Vaz, and what would be enough force to knock anyone off where they're standing and throw them back 10 feet. However, Vaz, he yells out with the blessing of his god, and you just see the great club, both strikes, bounce off him and do no damage to him.
Ooh.
Fire breath.
Smash his shrine he was praying at.
It is now Nebra's turn, and she is going to turn to you, Thanesh, and I've seen you fall once before. I can make you fall again. As she brings her dagger up to attack you.
I'll
First
use
one.
my reaction to raise my armor class, so it's 16.
Yep. So the first one, you manage to dodge away from it as she goes to make a strike. She pulls it back, ready to strike again, but this time you're way too quick as you bat her hand away with the dagger coming close to you. However, as she does the final slash, frustrated with the attacks that were going on, goes, "Next time you won't see this coming," as she disappears invisible in front of you.
That's tricky.
Okay, it is now Hevel's turn.
I am going to cast Radiant Soul. So I sprout incorporeal wing for a minute. And I have a flying speed of 30 feet. And my eyes glow. And each of my attacks can deal an additional 3 radiant.
Very nice. So you sprout these wings and your eyes start glowing, as you said, with an extra power of inside you. Yep.
Yeah. And then I get like right up into Vaz's face on this side.
Okay. As you move past.
Oh, that's gonna actually cause a reaction, isn't it?
Yep. The Nebra decloaks as you're flying. She goes to make a strike at you with her dagger.
And she misses. Because she's a feeble old woman.
No, because she's invisible. She can't see where the knife is.
And she does miss.
Yeah, I told you, she's feeble. That's why I don't care about her.
So has that revealed her, or are you
Yep.
just
Yes.
sweet?
Okay, and you're making an attack on Vaz, are you? Or
My action was to cast Radiant Soul, so I can't.
okay, all right. Yep. All right. So with that, finish.
I'm actually going to duck back out of the room, and I'm going to lift Vendetta's head if it's under the water, submerged, and check to see how badly injured she is.
Okay. Make a medicine check for me, please.
Why is...
10.
So as you lift her up, you see that she's face down. You turn her over, and where her neck was is a deep gouge, deep enough that you can see both her esophagus and feeding tube.
Oh. Alright, so she's dead.
You can ascertain that there is significant damage done by the blade.
I presume she's dead.
She is very much not moving.
Alright.
Heavily, you forgot your skellies.
Oh, yes, sorry, Hevel. It is Skelly's, yes. After Thanesh's turn, so
Yeah,
he's
okay.
back. Yep.
Cool.
Your Skelly's. What do you want them to do?
Well, I told them previously to attack Vaz, so expect them to continue doing that.
Continue on. All right. They redock their bows and both take a shot at Vaz. And hang on, sorry, I just need to check. That's possible. Okay, and they both shoot off arrows, expertly catching Vaz in his right shoulder as he's distracted by yourself now flying towards him. And he takes damage from both of the arrows as they lodge into him. You now see 3 arrows stuck into him, 2 on the side and 1 in his back.
Oh, that. So the arrows damage him, but that guy's interesting.
That is correct.
Immune to bludgeoning.
Hmm.
Or it was the speed of the attack.
So I didn't actually say it as well as I probably could have, but as he calls out, he called out a prayer to his god as he saw the great club swinging towards him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you've gone. Thanesh's gone. Rock, it is your turn.
Do you think guys think I should knock one of these statues over or attack him, knowing that I can probably knock him prone so we can all do wail on him?
It'd probably be pretty funny to see if he doesn't statue getting wrecked. Don't know if it'll do anything, but it could be funny.
We don't want it to spawn something to come after us as soon as we kill him.
Yeah, you knock over the statue of Baal, and Baal appears.
I knock this statue here over. I attempt to.
Okay, make a strength check.
15 plus, what did I say before? 3. 17. Wait, no, 18. I good.
So as you knock over this statue, you find it pushes over easier than the one you pushed over before with your extra strength. And as it collapses onto the floor, you feel a sudden dread within you. You feel the existence disappearing as something has taken hold inside you.
I'm gonna fucking die, bitches. How taken hold? Can I run still?
You can still move. You find a bit withered. You find yourself feeling a bit decayed.
I moved myself to here.
Okay.
You have taken fungus damage again.
Guys. No, if it's fucking fungus, I quit.
I assume any poison effects and that disappear once he shapeshifts again, or do they stick with?
Good question.
It doesn't say on my stuff that I dispel any of that, so
Alright.
I'd say it carries over to his character because he is the wolf,
Yep.
and the wolf becomes him. All right. It is now Vaz's turn, and he sees the blood now dripping out of Mortlock, and he goes, "This is the end of you now, Mortlock. We promised your brothers that you would die, and here you are." As he rolls to attack. Sorry, as as he rolls to as he raises his dagger and moves in with one final.
And he misses because he worships a false god.
And as you see the strike on Mortlock directly under the rib cage and into his heart,
Oh,
as he pulls out, you see the life fade away from Mortlock's eyes as he drops to the floor.
He's a big man. He's got 2 hearts.
heathen.
He's motionless.
No one wants to stay alive in this game.
Now after that, Izzy.
I will twin spell Ray of Sickness onto Vaz and Nebria.
Okay. Now is that a hit?
Yes.
Okay, roll to hit.
So do I roll that twice or just once?
2 separate attacks.
Yeah, so 2 separate attack rolls. So roll for Vaz first, and then roll for Nebra.
For Vaz, 19.
That hits.
And for the other one, 18 plus 5 is 23.
That hits also. Roll damage.
So that I'll roll twice.
Yeah, so roll damage for just roll roll damage for each one. Roll for Vaz first, and then roll for Nebra after that.
First one is 8 poison damage.
Yep.
And the second one is 9 poison damage. And both of them must make a constitutional saving throw. On a failed save, it is poisoned till the end of next turn.
So there was 8 damage on Vaz, 9 damage on the other one.
Yep.
On Nebra. Yep. Okay. And a Constitution saving throw. What's the DC?
13.
Nebra fails.
Haha, poison, bitch.
Yes.
Vaz succeeds.
No.
So poisoned is a poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. That's a good one. All right. With that, it is Nebra's turn. So she feels the poison within her as the ray has attacked her. Her attention is now focused on you, Izzy, after seeing the sickness now come from your source. As she moves next to you, and then makes a multi-attack against you as well. What's your AC again? Sorry.
15.
She has disadvantage, correct? Because of poisoned. Disadvantage on attack rolls. You are one lucky man. Hang on. Okay, so you feel the first one slide inside your back left as she manages to find a weak spot on your armor, and as you take 15 points of piercing damage You feel that the essence of the blade, as it gets inside you, it's radiating with this extra damage that you didn't think was possible from that kind of dagger attack. The second stab.
Can
actually
I can
Yep.
I react using Hellish Rebuke now that she's done damage to me?
Yes, you can.
So I point my finger at her, and creature damaged me is momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. The creature must make a dex saving throw.
12.
That's a fail.
Okay, and so does she take damage?
She takes 3d10 and half if she failed.
What? That's an insane amount.
I can only use it once.
Yeah, once per long rest.
Once ever.
Come on, fuzzy 310s.
3, 5, and 7.
3, 5, and 7.
Right down the middle.
15.
That's all right.
So you were very lucky. We'll talk about this after. So as she slides the first dagger in, she was prepared with accuracy, very much similar to the way that you saw Vaz make his final strike on Mortlock. As the dagger starts getting towards your chest cavity, the Hellish Rebuke pushes out from you as she's engulfed in the flaming damage from it. As you see her entire under the hood, where it is all darkened, flames erupt as it comes out from her, and you see her fall back motionless from that attack.
Ha!
Cop that.
Backstabbing bitch.
We don't need no flaming wizard. By the sounds of it, I would have died.
You were getting close to it, I think.
We'll talk about it later. And
I bet you you had a natural 20 that time.
there's now to Hevel, your turn.
All right. How does Vaz look?
Oh, do the skellies get to go?
After Hevel.
After Hevel, okay.
As for Vaz, you can see that the arrows that are pierced into his back have slowed him down a little bit, but still quite healthy to your eyes.
All right. I take a swing with my mace and I get 11.
Yep, sorry. I'm just seeing. Okay. Apologies, I just had to read as well. 11 misses.
Okay. Might go all in, and I'm going to cast as a bonus action my spiritual weapon. So a incorporeal hammer is going to appear behind Vaz, and it's going to try to smack him.
Yeah, so when you cast, you can make a melee attack. I'm just seeing if it requires your attack. When you cast a spell, you can make a melee spell attack against the creature within 5 feet. And then your bonus action can repeat the attack. Okay, alright, cool. Yep, so make the melee attack with the hammer.
I got a 9. Yeah. So that's good. But, my hammer lasts a minute.
Okay, now it is Dinesh. Oh, sorry, skeletons.
Skellies.
They continue their relentless bow assault as they redock their bows and fling 2 more arrows off towards. Oh my god, these skeletons are gods tonight. As both arrows shoot off towards that. As they both are nearing him, you hear Vaz mutter from under his breath, "My god, do this again. Give me one more protect." And as the arrows are just about to make contact, this barrier comes in front and just pushes the arrows away. It takes no damage from them. Finish your turn.
I will move. Yeah. Alright, I'll stand over the top of Mortlock. And I'm going to cast Burning Hands over Vaz at level 2.
Yep. Is that a... Do you roll to hit or does he roll to save?
He rolls to save, Dex 12.
He got a 12.
Nice. And I rolled 3 1s
Yeah.
and a 5. So for a second level spell, I did 8 fire damage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Still, as your hands push out and touch onto Vaz, you feel the power of your flames engulf him, and he takes. So how much did he take? 8.
8.
Yeah, so he takes the fire damage that's hit him from that.
Nice.
He's looking a little crispy around the edges with the arrows in the back. Still relatively healthy. If that is your go, it is now Rock.
Seeing everyone piling up, Rock goes in and attempts to attack that.
Okay. Yep. Roll with advantage.
I get advantage from attack tactics anyway as a dire wolf.
Yeah. So there's no friendlies within 5 feet, but no, he's on the other side, so he's technically 10 feet.
No,
but
it's 5 feet of the enemy.
Oh, sorry. Okay. The wolf has advantage roll on it if one of the wolf's allies is within 5 feet and the ally isn't incapacitated. Okay. Yeah, you had advantage anyway because he's flanked. But yes. Yeah. Cool.
So I got 7 plus 5, 22.
That hits. Roll damage.
Uh, 4 and 6, 10 plus 3, 13.
So as you jump up to bite onto Vaz, you hear he hears you come around and he turns around, and this time he yells out with more force and says, "Baal, please, one more time, stop these fiends from attacking me." And where you felt sure that you were going to clasp onto him, you find that your teeth do not penetrate, they do not draw blood, and you pull away from the attack.
Do I still hit though?
You
Even
do.
if no damage was done?
You
He
do.
has to save a 13 DC strength.
He got an 11. So
Yeah, he prone, bitch.
so while
He goes down.
so while the damage, you did nothing to the bite, the sheer force and the weight of the massive dire wolf knocks him down. He is now prone.
Nice.
Yep.
Um,
And with my remaining movement, I'd like to move over to the statue.
Yep.
That's basic.
Okay. So Vaz, after being knocked prone, is going to use his movement to now stand up. He's been going after you, dude. So he uses his movement to stand up, and he says, curses under his breath, "The stupid wolves in here. First it's the rats, now it's the dogs." Oh, hang on, let me remove it. And as he sees the big guardian angel in front of him, poised to attack, instead he then looks at you with a menacing gaze, Hevel, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
I got this. This guy and his heathen ways can get lost. Never mind. Wisdom. 9.
You are completely perplexed by by the gaze that is forced on you, stunning you in place. You are now stunned until the end of Baz's next turn. So I don't have a condition for stunned. Hang on.
Until when?
Until the end of Vaz's next turn.
Oh. I'm just going to be useless this whole fight. Burn all my spell slots, whatever.
But you healed us up real good before we started.
Yeah, I'm good before the fight.
Oh yeah, sorry, it is there. So a stunned creature is incapacitated. So incapacitated means you can't take actions or react. The creature, you automatically fail strength and dex saving throws, and attack rolls against you have advantage. So now that he has you stunned, he pulls his dagger out to make a strike against you.
I got armor. He's going to miss. Guy can't see it. He's got that stupid cloak over his eyes.
Yep. The first one seeps its way past your armor in in a weakness in the under, and you take 18 piercing damage as you feel the very similar vibrant blood come in and do extreme damage to you. The second one, however, he can't find the same spot and it glances off your arm, doing nothing to you.
If I wasn't stunned, I'd call him a heathen, right?
It is now.
I will. From where I am, I'm just going to cast Frostbite on him. So he has to do a con save.
He passes.
No.
Anything else?
I might move back a bit.
Okay. Yep, sorry.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, and it is your go. You are currently incapacitated. Let me just double check the wording on that.
Look at the
Or
leering
beast
from
done.
Neville.
Sorry, and be stunned until the end of your next. So at the end of your turn, you will be unstunned.
Sweet.
Okay.
My skeletons can still shoot at him, though.
They certainly can, and that's what they'll continue to do.
Excellent.
This time, however, their aim is not as accurate as they've been throughout the night, and as both arrows go over each shoulder, hitting the wall behind. Dinesh.
Alright, I'm going to take one step to the left.
Yep.
And again, I'm going to cast Burning Hands onto him.
Okay.
First level this time.
And he makes, or you make the attack. Sorry, he makes a save, does he?
Makes a save. Dex 12.
He passes.
He takes 5 fire damage.
Okay, feeling the flaming hands touch upon him again. Unable to do anything, unable to ask his god for any help, feels the fire surge within him as he starts crisping up a bit more on the inside. Rock, it is your turn.
Rock bounds up and knocks this last statue out.
Okay, roll a strength check for me, please.
Oh shit. 5.
This time, as you try and push up against it, it rocks slightly, but bangs up against the wall on the back of it towards them, and balances itself back up on top. It's undisturbed at this point.
Oh shit. Now that's a lot.
Okay. So Vaz this time sees you as a threat, Dinesh, as the burning within is starting to affect, as he turns to you and gives the same death stare that you saw happen to Hevel. Can you please make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh god. I am stunned.
Yeah, so as you're now stunned, he smirks at you with opportunity, or smirking as much as a face without flesh, and this time aims at the first slice, managing to catch on your robe but not hit you. This time he sees that he's mistaken where his aim was going and readjusts and manages to land a dagger directly into your left and hits you for 12 piercing damage.
No.
All my temporary hit points gone. Shopping trolley gone.
Izzy, you'll go.
I will attempt to frostbite him again. See if he can get.
Constitution, yeah?
13.
He passes.
Damn it.
Right when we need to roll good, we all roll shit, and he starts pulling out the big guns.
I think maybe I should have sent one of you guys around to knock statues over while I did all the work. Just saying.
Hevel, it is back to your turn. You're unstunned, so you can do things.
I want to tell my skeleton to get behind him, opposite me.
Okay.
Wait, isn't your weapon still floating around?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, bonus action.
Does that count as a thing?
I will
I
not
use
say.
my bonus action for that.
Yeah, but he won't be flanked by that weapon. I will say that because the weapon's not a creature, so it won't get.
Is it possessed by
hang
any
on.
of the people
Hang on,
we
let me
tried
check.
to save?
Because also, if it did, then me getting into that spot last time was bad.
Oh, that's all right. It's a floating spectral weapon. I'd say that you can get in the same space.
I'm
as
a
that.
big boy. I'm not small.
Yeah, so a spiritual weapon is not classed as a creature or an. So
Okay.
no, you do not get. So yeah, you could request that the skeleton does.
Yep. Well, cool. Would that count as my action?
No, I'd say that you can give that order, but you know that the skeletons do go after you, so it won't move until it's.
Yep. Cool. And then I'm going to take a swing with my mace.
Yep. Roll to hit.
That's a miss. It's 11 again.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
So.
it's a 10 again. 10.
Yep. So nothing. Just manage to catch air as you swing past him.
Yep. And then I use my bonus action for the spiritual weapon.
Roll to hit.
This is better. 21.
That hits. Roll damage. Now, does your spiritual weapon get your
Yes,
bonus?
it does. Look this
Okay.
up. Oh, and I rolled a 1. So that's 4 plus the extra 3, 7.
Okay. Still enough as your spiritual weapon catches Vaz off guard as he's forgotten that it was floating there. Enough to knock him to a point. It is a mace, right? Your spiritual weapon's a mace?
I think I said it was a hammer. In
A
that
hammer? Yep. Enough to knock him back as you see it jar him. And the cavity that's been left by where the hammer hit, bruising over. Skeleton's turn. So the skeleton that you pointed at to say you move on the other side is going to drop his bow and unsheath this, move around behind Vaz and make an attack. And you see the short sword make clean contact into right along the back of him as the now slash opening up a bit of a gash on Vaz's back. I will say your skeletons are actually being the MVP of this fight. The second one, understanding that his order was to keep attacking, readies the bow again. This time, though, shooting the arrow off and falling short as it hits the wall behind him. And from that, finish.
Cool. Once again, I'm going to put my hands forward and I'm going to burn this motherfucker.
Dex?
Dex 12.
What happens to my
13.
skeleton if I go down?
So he passes. What'd you say?
Yeah, he passes. And what happens to skeletons when you go down?
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
He takes
That has me
6
slightly
fire
worried.
damage.
6 fire
Oh, is
damage.
that good? Yeah.
So you're rolling good on the on the ones that he passes.
Yeah, I know.
But you see, as you're touching onto him, the bare chest, you see a lot of cauterizing damage around where each of the arrows are stuck into him. He's looking very smoky, and you see that his breathing starts to become a bit more labored.
Nice.
Rock, it is your turn.
I go round 2 on this motherfucker and try and knock it over.
Okay, strength check for me, please.
He tries to knock him over like a statue.
9 plus 3, 12. I have gotten terrible at maths lately. Holy shit.
This time, as you push onto the statue, you find that you'd shifted it enough that you got a better purchase on it. As you push it over and it collapses on the floor, you hear Vaz scream out, "How dare you desecrate my god? You will fear my wrath from here." What else do you do for your turn?
I move right up to here to complete this around.
Okay, Vaz's turn, and he turns to you, Thanesh, and says, "You must not have much left to survive this." And
Actually,
Hmm?
I was stunned for my turn,
yes, you were. Apology,
so wind that back.
my bad. I should have kept track.
That's right.
So you are now unstunned. However, I'll get you to make another wisdom saving throw, please. As he stares at you with a severe intent to knock you
19.
down.
That's what this
However, this time you are more prepared, understanding what the gaze is doing to you, and you shrug off the effect as it has on you. However, he still raises his dagger ready to attack at you.
Yep.
First one, missing you completely, catching the opposite part of your robe again. However, the second one, he makes a clean strike into your
I'll
abdomen.
use my reaction to raise it to 6 armor class to 16.
So 24.
Okay.
This time slicing you for 14. Hang on. Yes. 14 piercing damage.
Still good, guys.
Really?
Still alive.
Wow.
That's good. Izzy, it is your go.
I will shoot him with my crossbow.
Okay, roll to hit.
Do I get advantage because he's facing the other way?
Well, he is technically facing around where you are. I believe flanking only works on melee attacks.
Correct.
10.
As you fling off the arrow, thump, misses, hits the wall behind him.
Come on, Fuzzy.
Right.
And Hevel, it is your turn.
Smack him with my mace.
Okay,
With a-
roll. Yeah, roll with advantage this time.
Oh, and now I get a good roll.
It's the curse.
And another. I rolled the same thing again.
Robot, you got out.
You're muted.
I rolled 18 twice.
Oh wow. Okay, well, yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
All right. So
Incoming
that
one.
is-
Make 18 again.
And I
What's the
rolled
damage?
6.
There you
Plus 2 is 8. Plus radiant damage is 11.
go. Nice.
Ooh. As you make a clean strike against his face as a forceful blow, you see that your mace has left a massive gash in his skeletal head.
Good. And now I hit him with the hammer.
Yeah. So how much was your damage? Sorry, 13. Did you say?
11. He better still be alive
Okay.
for this.
Yep. Roll to hit, just on the hammer, just the one hit.
It is 16.
That hits. Roll damage.
1d8.
This guy need to take some hints from his buddies and wear plate armor and have a shield.
10.
Different god. So as he's been knocked around, slightly dizzy from your hammer, he's oblivious to the spiritual mace that's floating behind him. As it clocks down on the back of his head, you see a complete stunned look on his face as he almost has stars on his eyes. there's blood spurting out from where the arrows have been hit, the crispiness of his body. However, with the final ounce of determination, he is still pressing on.
Heathen.
So Hevel went. It is now the skeleton's turn. The skeleton behind him, seeing the spiritual hammer that's over his head, clocked down, sees a perfect opportunity. However, he didn't expect him to move in such a way that he missed with his slice. The second skeleton takes his aim with the this time shooting in between his legs, unable to get the aim correctly around Thanesh. Thanesh, it is your turn.
Alright, this time. Burning hands.
He passes.
Four fire damage.
As you touch Vaz with both hands coming forward, you feel the flames reach out from you and engulf his body as you hear him finally scream, "For Baal, you will die." And with that, you see the final scream of his voice snuff out, just like the flames on your hands.
I give the spell an extra oomph and try and, really just push out some extra fire and just burn that body crisp on the ground.
As yes, he collapses very crispy under your attack.
That's going to be the most damage I've dealt one turn this entire campaign. 21. That's like half of what Dodrick did.
That's the least damage I've done in a fight this campaign.
But you did smash 3 wooden statues.
Yes.
That is the most amount of wooden statues that you've smashed in any fight.
And I think you cursed yourself in the process. So good job.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't one of us also cursed?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
That's from the book.
Yeah. So far, you've seen nothing happen to Thanesh that indicates that the curses do an effect. But hang on, let me get you your reward. Can you please each add? I just need to check the. Oh, excuse me.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. 565 XP.
Ooh.
Reasonable.
It doesn't look like level 4.
No, actually, well, the campaign expects you to be level 3 as you're exiting here, so you guys are level 3, which is good.
That's good. We would have more XP if everyone who we rescued or encountered actually stayed alive.
No, you've done pretty well. You've gotten quite a lot. Okay, so after that, you look around, see Thanesh is quite heavily wounded from taking several stab wounds. Same with Hevel, as their breathing is very labored and they're clutching at wounds on their side. You've got a playful direwolf that feels happy that he's knocked over 3 of these statues. However, as you look towards him, you feel that there is some sort of necrotic energy that has also taken effect onto him.
I kick the corpses and then I loot them.
Okay. Yeah, roll perception for me, please.
I'll just take a step back and sit down up against the wall, sort of just breathing hard and sort of catching my breath, recompensate.
14.
So you search around on each of the bodies. On Vaz, you find a torch and a dagger, and on Nebra, you find a dagger as well. No monetary value on them other than that.
I just realized this wolf has 50 fucking movement.
Also, Thanesh, you do have the thing following you at 10 feet as well.
Sorry, can you repeat that quickly?
Walk over to this room to see what's in there.
Yep. You do have the disc following you as well with the 3 chests on it. Yep. So as you climb up what looks to be a bit of a couple foot high ledge, you enter into a room. And in that room is a closed off door towards the south. you see 6 rats, not quite as hungry as the rat you squished earlier. However, they don't notice your presence, or the ones that do just sort of squeak and scurry away. They're harmless and avoiding. Within the room, you see 9 wooden crates. They're scattered throughout the room.
I untransform myself, turn back to the guys, because I assume it's running out anyway. It was an hour back here.
Yep.
And yeah, go, hey guys, just a bunch of rats up here. And, kind of just conveniently block the doorway a little bit. And start looting all the boxes. Yes.
Okay.
I want to check the stone bases and the statue debris.
Yep. Okay. And you other two?
Do I know that maybe Rock and Thanesh had poisoned the effects on them, or?
So Thanesh was already observed.
That's right.
And it was deemed that he currently has a bit of a weakness to necromancy. I'll say at this stage, Rock has not been observed. You can just he's felt it. And as the fight ended, you looked at him, and even though he hadn't taken any damage from any, he looked not wrong. But yeah, you can go and investigate him if you like.
I will follow him in, but I'll help him investigate the crates. And I'll be all jumpy at the rats because I don't like rats.
Okay. And Hevel?
I'd be interested in the crates too.
All
And
right.
I tell the skeletons to kill the rats.
Okay. The skeletons follow in, picking up their short swords. They start chasing around the rats one by one, taking odd slashes here and there. Each of you, I'll get you to each, except for you, Sanesh, I'll come to you. I'll get each of you to do a perception check, please.
15.
17.
2.
Yeah, I get my loot.
So you rifle through, and as you get to each crate, you see they're filled with just packing, and you go through the first 1, 2, 3, and you find nothing but straw. You're throwing out all this straw on the ground, and there's nothing you find. Rock, when you get to your 4th one that you're looking through, you find that in this one there is 10 days worth of ration and a bag with 20 caltrops in it. Hevel, when you rifle through one and you find nothing, however, on the second one that you get to, you find 3 flasks, and they are filled with a liquid. And you also find 6 sets of manacles and 4 tinder boxes. Izzy, you go through your ones. However, you find after a very quick rush through, pulling some of the straw out, that you get frustrated with all the straw that's going on there, and you don't find anything else.
I was halfway through writing what I had. It's like, the wrong spot. I didn't know what was it.
Sorry, mate?
What did we find in class?
So you found 10 days worth of rations, so a bunch of rations. And you also found a bag of 20 caltrops. At Hevel, you found 3 flasks that are filled with a liquid, and 6 sets of manacles and 4 tinder boxes.
I take a taste of one of the liquids.
Okay, 1 moment. Okay, so describe to me how you're tasting it. As in, are you dipping a finger in, or are you pouring it into your mouth? Okay.
I dip the finger in, and then I put the drop on my tongue.
So as you dip the finger in, you find that the fluid is a bit sticky, a bit adhesive as it to your touch. when you pull that bit of liquid out and your hand reaches air, it ignites and bursts into a bit of flame immediately on your finger.
That's some hot chili sauce.
Don't drink that.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what that is. Now. And it was 2, wasn't it?
Three of them. They look identical.
And we've also got that mask, and we've got the crown. We need to figure out what that's for.
Yep, and you have 2 potions that look identical and tasted a bit of fire.
Yeah, which I am assuming are potions of fire.
That would be a fair assumption.
Well, I'm going to try them and use them that way. If I'm wrong, then I might explode.
And Rock, you got the highest roll, didn't you? You got a 17. As you rifle through one more crate that that Izzy in his frustration of only finding straw had ignored. As you move towards it, you manage to find 4 glass vials filled with a red liquid lying at the bottom underneath all of the packing.
I pick them all up and go to put them in my pockets, and then remember it's pointless me carrying anything. So I go up to my old mate the net and hand them to him and go, hey, I gotta start remembering to not hold shit. Here you go, hold these.
I look a bit puzzled.
And I also
but
give
I'll
him
take 'em.
my remaining 4 stupid good berries. And say, eat these. I think they've only got a few hours left.
Alright, I'll eat the 4 good berries as well.
You're still on no health, right?
That's yeah, I'm at 6.
I've still got most of my spells.
So I
Cool,
just
can I borrow 'em?
Am I just adding 4 potions? Unknown potions?
Yeah, so while they're unknown at this stage, you haven't tasted them.
Alright, I'll uncork one and
Yep. So as you uncork it, dip your finger in, put it on your tongue. You feel a sensation as part of you starts to close over and feel a bit more whole. Please add 1 health, or restore 1 health from the healing potion.
cool. And all of these are identical?
They are.
I'll hold on to 2 of them, but I'll pass on 1 to each Hevel and Izzy and tell them what they are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright, I was going to check out the
Yes. So you're inspecting the.
destroyed statues and their bases.
Okay. Roll a
Analysis.
perception check with advantage.
15.
Yeah. So you inspect the one to the south first, and you inspect the statue a bit more closely, even though it's collapsed and parts of it is broken off and split. You identify that each of the statues are a visage to each of the gods that the cultists of the Dead Three follow. And to the south, you identify that this one, being towards the Lord of Bones, worships Merkle. The one in the center is towards the god Bane. And the one that you recognize that Vaz was kneeling at was to his god, Baal. You also find that the spear that had dislodged from the statue to Bane is in fact a real spear. Doesn't appear to be anything too distinct or crazy about it, but as you touch it, you feel that it's a real spear.
Alright. I'll pick it up.
Okay, just add 1 spear to your inventory, please.
There were
You
no
guys
other
realise there was
items.
extra content available at the moment.
What's that?
D&D Beyond. There's a bunch of extra shit available at the moment. Up the top, it's got what is it? Quarantine resources.
Oh, nice.
That was taken from Bane, wasn't it?
Yeah, from the Statue of Bane.
Cool. And there's nothing interesting about the bases that the statues were sitting on.
No, they just appear to be standard stone pedestals that they'd built here to house these statues.
Okay.
There was nothing else sort of item-wise on the wooden statues. No jewels, no other metal or anything.
No, they were wooden and painted to represent their god.
I moved back into this room because I remember you telling me there was a wooden box in here as well.
Yep.
And I opened the wooden box.
Okay. You open the wooden box and you see at the base of it 5 lowly torches.
Nice. I take them.
Okay.
And
Please.
who was it that didn't have fancy eyes?
The
Dinesh.
lizard.
And once again, doing what I do best, I walk up to Dinesh with these torches. Go, hey, your eyes, they're not fancy. Hold these as well. You are my pack mule.
I'll take a couple of torches. I'll just take 2. I'll drop the other 3 on the ground.
Okay. Please add 2 torches to your inventory. It's also worth noting that you as a direwolf do not have dark vision.
Yeah, that's why I didn't use it the first time. That's why I went Spidey. Because I think that's all I had.
You're assuming you knocked over those statues on purpose. You just couldn't see.
Distraction.
Well, my spear's still been glowing this whole time, so.
Yeah, you've kept that. You've
Not
kept your
spear,
light
sorry,
source.
My staff.
Okay.
I assume you would have told us if it was stuff.
So with that, you've done a search of the bodies. You've done a quick loot of the room. Might be a good point to end it there, unless you want to do anything more for this session.
Nah, I'm very tired.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Well, next session, I believe we'll be moving on to what you guys do in terms of getting out of here. Unless you want to live down here, you might want to run the base of the dead cultists.
We're the new cult. All hail Baal.
He's been desecrated. Poor Baal.
What am I going to do with my skeletons?
We'll wait and see.
Name them, for God's sake.
I mean, do I take them out into the world? Or do I, dismiss them somehow? I don't know.
Have them start cleaning down here, and, when you come back in 1,000 years, it'll be like more leaving. We'll clean them well.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. Maybe I could leave them with, instructions to say, I don't know, come find me if you need my attention. But leave a note for me at this tavern.
So, I'm trying to make an effort to not pull the curtain back too much because I want to keep the suspense and surprise. But there's a lot of cool things that was going on, and Izzy, Fuzzy, I gotta say, so that Reaper of Baal, the lady that was Nebra, she has an aura that's called Aura of Weakness, I think. It's actually got a name, Aura of Murder, which is even cooler sound. And anyone who's caught within 5 yards fall the effect of the aura, and they are weakened to piercing damage. So you're all taking extra damage from the piercing attacks. And yes, that second roll, because she gets a multi attack every turn, was a natural 20.
Could have, or
you would have been down.
18 the first hit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's a D4 plus 5, and then double And then if that's a crit, then yeah, that's not
Triple.
good.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, only the D4 would have been doubled. So 2 plus 3 is
Yeah, it wouldn't
5
have been
plus
enough
5,
to-
10. So 20 wouldn't have been enough to kill you outright, but
Yeah.
you were definitely down. And closing note for the session, as Mortlock advised, you've made it this far. You've killed most of the leaders of the Dead 3 cult. Without them, the cult will break up. Something to keep in mind with the death of Vaz.
Okay.
Oh, is there anything identifying on what we take this? Because I would like to take it out.
Yeah, roll a perception check for me, please.
Dice away. One.
What?
I have a +2, I think.
Okay. As you rummage through the leather overcoat that he's wearing, there's nothing that you could see that is clearly identifying to him. However, you do see his massive great club lying next to him.
I go, guys, there's nothing here to identify. You know what? We'll have to take his face. You all good with that? And
Yes.
then I walk over and I start examining his great club. Is it steel? Is it wood? Or is it beautiful? What is it?
It looks so the texture and the look is wooden, and you also notice that it is the same size as you.
Do I have?
It's a little over 4 foot.
Is it a warhammer?
It's called a great club.
Because I have proficiency from dwarf with warhammer and club.
What's the music like at the Great Club?
That's upsetting. But I pick it up and I start lugging it with me. It's my form of work. Does it look expensive?
No, looks quite crude.
Oh.
So
I
you have.
still start dragging it with me and start examining it.
So do you have proficiency with clubs, but not great clubs?
Yeah, I've got club specifically. Is it? Yeah, it doesn't exaggerate on that.
Okay.
Is there even? So. Yeah, great clubs different. So I'd say I do not have proficiency.
Yeah. And poor Mortlock, like he was pretty damaged, and that heal was nice, but didn't even take him to half HP. It was enough to
I
convince
sort
him
of
to help.
felt that, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't get anyone out of here alive.
No, but we can twist the story
What do you
for our
mean? The
benefit now.
skeletons came back
Yeah,
alive?
the skeletons are alive. MVPs.
Although we lost one.
Yeah, you did lose one. One's a bit beat up. He's lost a bit of his rib cage. The other one still, he's they were the MVPs. Like they did most of the damage to him.
So tip for the dungeons is going them dead. There's less chance of dying.
I decided just to keep using Burning Hands because it was guaranteed damage even if he made the save.
He did have advantage on all spell checks and spell saves against him. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Alright,
I'll close the curtain now. That's it. That's all the cool shit I
Okay.
wanted to share.
See you.
All right. Enjoy, guys. See ya.
Says
See you, mate.
See you later.
I told you there was more treasure to come.
That was good. Oh, curious. Like, I was very surprised about the theme of the loot. So that's just even more questions.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And let me
That
close
crown
this.
sounds cool.
Sorry. Oh, there we go. That did go back. The crown.
Mm.
I probably described a little bit too much. I should have made you check on examining it, but yeah, I probably would have told you anyway. Is what it comes down to. Your passive perception picked up some stuff.